Listen, we have to disavow the right-wing extremists on this suicide prevention live stream.
I disapprove of what they did.
Of Hawk's centrist right wing.
Oh yeah, the irony that it's actually the social justice mob that is hating on that shit and dividing everything is actually the people driving people to suicide.
All right.
Yeah. Zack Snyder was trying to cover his ass.
Okay.
Also, Zack Snyder's a silly name.
Okay.
Most of interpretation, he's just trying to cover his ass from the Hollywood hate mob.
Okay.
What?
Yep.
Anyway, let's get back to the starting of the stream. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 230. Can we block the sun to stop climate change? Okay, here's a complete change of our usual routine of
Isn't
media.
this the plot of Recess? Of like one of the Recess movie?
And Simpsons and South Park and Family Guy.
Really?
And Dyson Sphere Program, the video game.
Yeah,
I've played enough Dyson Sphere Program to know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking of like the one where they wanted to block out the sun so that there'd never be summer, and so they could ban summer.
Yeah. Recess. School's Out, 2003, I believe it was.
That was a good movie.
Damn,
I watched that
plot already now. Wow.
It was a disappointment. Yeah, everyone did this plot in the early stages of the 21st century. This is how old it is.
It sounds like that almost makes it sound like it's one of these super conspiracy theories that's so out of this world that nobody would believe, but some people picked it up and tried to warn us through media.
It just sounds like smoked a blunt. I was like, "Yo, bro, what if
what if we get rid of summer?
What if we just got like a big fucking circle?
What we're gonna do is we're gonna cause a whole fucking nuclear winter, right?
Can I just say that this is a really dumb idea before any of this video starts?
It's a nuclear winter without the nuclear.
It will kill everything.
The thing I like,
that's like the fun part. So
all right,
the whole fun part.
The positive thing, if we want to say something nice, because this sort of says, okay, we know the problem of heating the Earth is the sun, because that's where we get all our thermal energy from. What if we just have a knob, like an analog control, we can dial the switch.
Totally not be abused by nihilists who want to destroy the human race.
Wait. Didn't Futurama do this? They fixed global warming by dropping an ice cube in the ocean?
Mm-hmm. They drop an ice cube into the ocean, just like my daddy with his whiskey, and then he gets mad.
But you're right. Futurama solved that very easily. Let's just get more ice cubes from outer space.
I'm just laughing because Smudboy said, have a knob, and I'm just thinking of a giant penis blocking out the sun now.
Of course you do.
Thank you, Hawk. Always thinking with your head there.
Knob.
I'm just like a sundial.
So, sarcastic Hawk thinks French and English are the same language, and he only thinks about dicks. Got it.
Good at its cost better than good.
Yes. But at the end of the day, it's all Argentinian to me.
So. Just imagine like a massive sundial, but it's like a massive.
The people.
penis.
Okay, all right. The context for that.
No.
Shut the fuck up. No. You leaned into it. So the context for that statement is, Hawk thinks that the people in Argentina speak Argentinian.
What?
Argentina.
What's going on?
Oh yeah, that one.
Argentina.
The people in Argentina speak Argentinian. If you're Mexican, you speak Mexico, and if you're Canadian, you speak Canada.
No.
Okay, thanks, guys. Let's get back on the engineering question of whether or not we can.
The engineering question of what the language do they speak in space?
No.
In space, nobody.
This is really dumb. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. The weather, the whole climate is a giant system. So as similar in complexity and unpredictability to the human endocrine system. You don't want to mess around with that, especially not with these giant solution things.
Maybe
Every time humans have major solution things, they always backfire. Always.
How about I
wonder
do
why that is.
anyway?
Whoa. Let's actually listen to the video and see what point.
No,
I just
want to talk about how you think Argentina speaks Argentinian.
Argentina. Why do you keep saying Argentina?
Argentina speaks
Yeah, and
energy.
Canada speaks Canadian. Yeah.
Argent energy.
Yeah.
You cannot just blow a hole in the surface of
Well,
Mars.
maybe just don't be, of a lesser country. In
Okay.
my eyes.
Well, before we get the video started, what I wanted to do is address the actual problem of climate change. A lot of people are concerned about it. We've been hearing people screaming about it for about, 70 years. It's been a while. So what I do know, at least recently, by recently I mean the past 10 years, from the latest IPCC report, which I think was in 2011 or 12, I can't recall when it was, but there was no heating. There was no globally increase in temperature on average for the past 15 years since 2012. So I don't know what the current results are as of today. So I don't know the exact average. But even then, when we talk about...
we had a giant spike in temperature.
The average has not changed.
There isn't a giant spike.
Apparently not. So
No.
It's from their own report.
Also, you have to remember that when it comes to global temperature, they disregard every single result pre-1979, I think it is.
That's dumb.
So they don't take it into account anything from before that.
Well, I think they look at
really dumb.
at pre-industrial levels. They always measure those just because that's what they always talk about. But the second thing I wanted to talk about was that the actual use of carbon dioxide, because that's the big boogeyman, is CO2. It's a logarithmic account for trapping thermal energy. So once you go past about 100 to 120, 150, once you get to those parts per million, it begins to level off. So even if you get to 500 parts per million or 5,000, you're not going to get a much increase. And we've never seen that in our history, at least our recorded history. We're talking about the past 100 years of anything going above 500. It comes close to 400. Now we're around 350, 400 as well. And it's having a fraction of a change to percentage of centigrade. So now they're saying in 10 years it's going to go up.
Southeast Asia are actually growing, aren't they?
So I think that the main concern isn't global warming. It's climate change, and that we're going to start seeing more extremes.
Nothing
I'm not talking or anything, Hawk. That's fine. You can just talk over me.
Sorry. I'm just saying there's nothing you can do about that. What I'm just about to say, yeah. Global warming, maybe. Climate, no.
So I'm going to keep talking anyway.
Guys.
The more extreme seasons is what people are more concerned about. So we're going to see more Katrinas, bigger snowstorms, etc., etc. I think that's what the main concern behind climate change is. I don't keep up on it too much. I do think humans do have an effect on the global climate, and there's more we can do to help the planet out, such as stop cutting down rainforests. Probably not a great idea to cut those down.
I think we're getting more forestation back than we're cutting down for a couple of years already.
It's good. That's good.
I say kill them all.
You can't just blow a hole in the surface of the rainforest.
Kill them all, man.
The main problem is the pollution from China, but that's another problem. That's another issue. What I see is that
China.
With
not with that attitude.
Oh, we can do one of these astronomical solutions like blocking the sun with China. We just dropped an asteroid on it. It seemed to work with the dinosaurs.
How about we block the sun with China? We just cut China out like a.
Well, the German proverb for things like this is simply operation successful, patient dead.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned, obviously, the dinosaurs. It wasn't the asteroid that wiped them out. It was the actual...
The nuclear winter after.
Sun. Yeah, it was a blocking of the sun that wiped them all out.
Yeah.
Because resources went to such a minimal amount that literally only incredibly small mammals could survive.
Yeah. We should take that... We should keep that in memory for today's topic. But that's one thing I noticed is... When 2021 now, and I'm pretty sure that the youth of today, oh god, I'm old, they don't know the winters and summers of the 80s and 90s, and they were harsh. They were quite extreme here in Europe. We had tons of snow. Now there's barely anything. The north and the east of Germany barely knows anymore what snow even is. Summers are hot, yeah, okay, but snow? What the fuck is winter? And since the terminology kept changing throughout the second half of the last century of, oh god, it's a new ice age coming, we are going to freeze to death. Oh no, it's actually global warming. Oh no, it's an ice age after all. Oh no, it's global warming. And now they just gave up and just call it climate change. I think there's even a new term that is... It's even a new, even softer term. I forgot. I forgot which it is. And whether there's something to it or not, I gave up on it. I am all for preserving nature and not throwing your trash on the street. I like that stuff. You know, I'm a wisp. I'm in the night elf woods with the tree huggers and all that nonsense. Yeah, and the druids who cull the deer because they have to, because otherwise they destroy the trees. So in turn we get to eat meat. Druids are not vegans. Anyway, no, but not. Joke aside. Thing is, I think I confused myself with my stupid joke.
Why are we here?
Yeah, why?
Yeah,
just to suffer.
One of the main things you have to remember about climate change is it's
It's
happened even worse.
I found my plot again.
Now.
Yeah, I found my plot again. Remember when the Vikings were going to the Americas?
No, I don't remember that because I wasn't there.
I was there.
No, I
good
Yes, I was there.
It was long and
yes.
Yeah. When your friends visited Greenland, was it green?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It was icy.
Iceland was icy, Iceland was green. They swapped names over to stop people going.
Oh, really? They swapped the names?
Yeah.
That's
Iceland
stupid.
is the green one, and Greenland is the icy one.
Why they do that?
Because they want people to buy land on Greenland and not on Iceland, so they trick people into buying.
They wanted to nay them, as they say.
I don't believe that.
They wanted to dab on it, you know. They literally
I need citations for that. That is outrageous. It's also funny. It's awesome, but it's outrageous. I need some citations for that.
Just look it up. Yeah, just look it up. But that's one of the things. It was also to attract settlers as well, who would immigrate to Iceland.
Yeah.
In like the 1800s.
Yeah.
You wouldn't a barren wasteland. No, you'd go to Greenland.
Yeah, but if that is true, then that ruins my simple solution of how to deal with climate change activism, which would be to say, well, as long as Greenland isn't green, we have nothing to worry about.
Greenland isn't. Yeah.
Well, in regards to hawks, I think you mentioned some deserts are going greener. That's been reported for decades now. I have a little article on that. I'm just going to show on the screen. We're not going to talk about it because I want to get going on with the video. Here it is. This was published in May of 2013. So there's several deserts in North America, Australia, Middle East, and parts of Africa. Increasing CO2 is making the deserts greener. Now, the funny thing about that is a lot of people are saying, well, we should plant more trees. This is all natural. This is just the earth doing its thing. And for whatever reason, the deserts are becoming greener. Now, I was talking about, in an old video years ago, I was talking about the yields of crops in Italy have been tripling for the past decade, which is insane. So
GMOs.
No, this is natural stuff. So it's just funny.
Weren't there wineries, vineyards in England as well at some point?
Yep. We still have vineyards.
In that shitty weather?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's shitty wine.
Not the best. Not the best environment for.
I would
wine.
guess it must have been better at some point.
Yeah.
If the desertification, I don't know, is if it's in fact just shifting around, if the deserts are just shifting around and other parts are getting greener again, that also destroys a little the whole there will be tons of climate refugees problems or narrative, because hey, deserts are getting worse in some places, but less so in others. And I've seen China has reclaimed a lot of desert in the northern parts, I think.
Yeah, they've bought a lot of land in Africa. I mean, you mean deserts?
No, I mean
sorry.
Greenering. I don't know the actual term of desert in China.
Well, the other point I wanted to make was the measurements we have been taking, at least in Canada. This is from the CBC, which is usually pro everything Canadian government. So if the Canadian government says it's true, it's true. And in this case, they found out the forests in, I think it was parts of Ontario, were actually emitting more carbon dioxide than they were taking in, which is fascinating. So all the people who want to have evergreens or certain pine needle style trees, because they apparently can trap heat more or trap whatever more, not exactly the best case scenario for what they wanted to do with carbon dioxide. So there might be other factors than CO2 that we're aware of that are causing these changes.
Yeah.
That we are simply not smart enough because we're talking about a goddamn planet, and we just do not know. So let's all admit our ignorance.
The planet has been through a lot worse than what it's been going through right now in the past.
Yeah, a bunch of CO2 exhaling humans walking around and burning coal is not the worst thing it's ever seen.
You have to
that's
remember,
for
what
sure.
is it? Before the dinosaurs, what is it? There was like nearly those thousands of extinction level events that wiped out 98% of all life on
thousands?
the planet. Yeah.
There have been 5.
No, but there's thousands of extinction level events.
No.
Of all different things. But like 95% of all life was wiped out before dinosaurs even existed throughout all the extinction level things.
Yes, that's happened, but there haven't been thousands.
even little extinction events. I'm not talking about all the big ones. There's been 5 big ones.
But that's not what you said.
There's been. Did I say big ones?
Yes.
Sorry, I meant
extinction level events. But I mean,
yeah, but anything with like.
You mean local ones?
Yeah.
I
mean, Pangea.
I don't know. I also don't know what a little extinction level event looks like.
I mean, like, do you mean like relative to the amount of life that there is?
Yeah. That's all that we like. So, but you have to remember, like Pangea, when it was first thing, it was like just desert with very few trees and stuff back millions of years ago.
What? It didn't look like in the dinos?
What?
It didn't look like in the dinos as Jim Henson series? I am appalled.
I mean, it's like, what was it? Which one was it? I don't know. Was it? I think it was the Arctic that didn't have snow during the dinosaur eras, or it could be it'd be the Arctic.
Yes, continents move.
No. Yeah, I know that. But what I'm talking about is like the climate of continents were completely different.
Yeah, they changed because they moved.
They're in different places.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Why are you saying that? Why is me saying that they changed and they moved so odd? I'm just saying that. Yeah,
not me. I'm just confused what this is about.
Also,
what I'm
talking about with climate change is happening on a very short timeline.
Yeah, the thing
past like 200 years or so.
The relevant thing is just perspective that people lack.
Yeah, the perspective. What
perspective is the time scale.
People seem to think that
the planet's been always the same for somehow.
Yeah.
Always the way it's been in that as it's been within their own lifetimes, and that's just nonsense. People who got to 80 years old know how just the little things change, and back and forth, and over the whole course of the planet's lifetime, since it has life on it, which is also just a small part of its existence. We are the tiniest blip. We're just in one moment of this planet's ever-changing cycle of whatever it's going through, and which one wonderful example is, I think, California, if I'm not mistaken, where people settled there. When people settled there, it was a rich green place, wonderful, wonderful place. And well, then it turned into a desert.
Place.
What? Why? Because it had they settled within a very small time frame in which it was actually green. Desert is the normal state of being for that area.
Yeah.
So nobody in their sane minds would build big cities in a desert. I don't think so. But at least not on that technological
Pay no
level.
attention to Vegas.
Pay no attention
I
to the
know.
Mojave Wasteland.
Yeah.
I know.
But my point is when you start looking at the planet on the scale that people talk about climate change, you've got to also remember that the world wasn't exactly how it is now. Things do change, and some things are completely beyond what humans can ever hope to
comprehend.
So yes,
comprehend, but even
agree.
combat. But we can do better. We can do better.
Yes.
That's
that's all I really want is for us to just do better. Just like, hey, maybe don't fuck the planet in half by dumping nuclear waste into the nearest lake. Like, maybe, fucking maybe. Let's make some better cars. Let's stop burning all this fossil fuel and dumping pollutants into the air because it's not good for you anyway.
Well,
aren't the plants happy that there's more carbon dioxide?
Let's not talk about the manufacturing processes of solar panels. That exactly is not a pretty sight. Anyway, let's get on with the video, guys.
This episode of Real Engineering is brought to you by Skillshare.
Oh my
with over
God.
20,000 classes that could teach you a new life skill. Earlier this month, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change released a chilling report. A report that has taken 3 years of research and another week of discussions between governments.
And like tens of billions of dollars.
Learn to read it on Skillshare.
Yeah, no.
One week?
If you ever wanted to learn how to read a governmental report, Skillshare has a great program for you. Make sure to use the code BIGCHUNGUS for 15% off your next purchase.
I'm just wondering if any of these experts who did this report were the same experts that said that New York could be underwater in 2015 due to climate change.
It's always going to be we have 10 years to do something or else.
Yeah.
We have 8 years.
I've never once
10 years.
heard that.
Okay.
You've never heard 10. You've got 10 years to really.
Have you watched
Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez said like pretty much that verbatim, right?
I don't care
Not
what
verbatim.
Alexandria
Literally
Ocasio-Cortez said.
Oh no! It doesn't matter. No,
Okay,
literally.
you know what?
The 10 years to do something. They've been doing that since the 70s.
All right, go watch An Inconvenient Truth, which came out in 2006. I think Al Gore said in 10 years, some
I also don't care what Al Gore
coastal city. Yeah, but this is what other people believe. These are actual people on the IPCC believe.
He won a Nobel, not a Nobel Prize.
No.
So did Obama.
An Inconvenient. No, what did he win for? Yeah, well done. You've realised it's all a load of bullshit, Zach. Congratulations. But what I'm saying is, people win these awards, and other people believe everything they say, and then they start making policies about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what. Doesn't matter.
I don't care what other people believe. I
think.
care what the human beings can do for the planet.
You said you hadn't heard anyone ever say that.
I've never heard anybody actually say, like, you have 10 years to unfuck the planet.
Ignore Greta Thunberg? Did you ignore everything that she said then?
Kind of, yes.
Right.
Because she's like 12, and I don't care what a 12-year-old has to say.
Oh my God!
We didn't say that first, though. This is just a new rule that you just made up.
Right. Wait, how is what I'm saying right now contradict what I said about I haven't heard anybody say you have 10 years to unfuck the planet?
Because it's
literally you're saying,
oh,
well, that doesn't count, and that person doesn't count, and that person doesn't count.
I don't care what Greta Thunberg or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said.
Okay,
you're not fucking scientists.
You didn't make
the WEF.
You didn't.
The WEF. Have you heard?
Right, I didn't preface my point with that because they weren't part of the conversation. You're the ones that brought them up.
Yeah, but we're just asking you questions now.
Right. That you haven't ever. I just don't believe you.
You brought them up. Do I need to preface everything with "I don't believe Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez"?
Yes.
You haven't
Yes.
heard anyone say anything like that. I don't believe you.
You have. Wait, what?
You said that you've never heard anyone say, like, in the next 10 years, such and such, like that kind of statement.
Yeah.
I don't believe
you. People have been saying this since a lot of people have been saying this since the 70s. It's one of the big jokes about climate change activists. It's always in the next 10 years, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time.
I've never heard the clicking talk. The clicking talk. The ticking clock analogy.
Yeah, but I remember what was it? In 2010, they said by 2020, Great Britain will be just covered in constant snowstorms due to climate change.
That's just normal, though.
But it's not.
Nice game.
That's just normal crazy. Why are you so hung up on that?
Yeah, that's just normal for Britain. You have constant gray skies. You've never seen the color blue in your life, and it's just always snowy.
Like Hamburg?
No.
Like Hamburg.
Yeah. Like my childhood. Oh yeah.
But I'm not. Maybe Zach's not heard it, but to explain to Zach, yes, the ticking clock analogy has been used.
Don't you mean the clicking talk?
The clicking talk.
the
I've actually got a list somewhere.
The licking cock.
That I saved.
The tickling cock.
What the hell you guys talking?
But I have actually got a list of all the predictions since I think it was the early 60s that climate activists have made in regards to certain things happening, and it is literally by 1964 it reaches 1964. Oh, by 1968 it reaches 1968. Oh, by 1980 when it gets to 1980 they go. Oh, but by 1990, and it's a constant. It's always so many.
I'll be
years
right back. I'm getting a phone call.
Yeah, it's a lot like the esoteric doomsayers that the world will end in Mayan calendar year this, planetary alignment that, and the more it goes on, the less people care.
The end of the year, and it carries on and on and on and on and on. I mean, Prince Charles was talking about the end of with climate change back in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's literally saying the exact same words. He's just changed the date to 2030 now instead of 2020. So that's the joke of it. It's always it's like
please accept our apologies. We have to do them, otherwise the world will end. You don't want the world to end, right?
I'll fix that creaky gate next week. Oh, I'll do it in the week after. I'll do it next month. Or I'll do it. It's always further down the line. But yeah, if Zach's not heard it, that's perfectly fine. Obviously, he's obviously not as into it as most of us are. So that's perfectly fine.
I just saw in the chat Greta is calling Zach. Lol. Oh no!
How dare you not know who I am?
No, it's no. How dare you?
How dare you? You've destroyed our future.
Did we?
You took my childhood from me.
Isn't it funny that Greta's now not listened to since she turned 18?
Wait, what?
She still looks like 12.
She's 18 years old. She's 18 now, and literally you went, "Yeah, you're too old now." And I shoved her out the door.
Yeah, yeah. And I got a new one. And they instantly in the same week. In the same week, they got a new one, but nobody can remember her.
They got a new one. They got a new Greta.
It's like that.
It's like
it's like that Simpsons sketch at the spring break where the girl has an armband and the alarm goes off and I turned 25. Yay! And I shove her off the screen and get a new 18-year-old girl in to moderate the show. Oh no! I'm just 25. I'm still young.
I need to watch The Simpsons at some point.
Only enough, I actually am indeed an 18-year-old girl, and I was going to be Greta, but it was too late.
You were gonna be an 18-year-old.
The audition were too hard.
It was too late. I failed the audition to be the.
Okay, so you say you failed the audition, but I don't know how a literal doll
But hey, now Greta is 18. She isn't doing the child nonsense climate change stuff anymore. She's actively trying to destabilize India.
Based.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Where are we?
Based. And
Okay, let's get back onto blocking the sun.
So confused.
The sun is real. We all know India is just a figment of all our imagination. So
everything is happening.
No,
everything is true.
India is real. Brazil is the fake one. God damn it!
I'm now gonna go brew some tea.
India is just a British ploy to make people think that we had.
Smut, if you want to go get like a drink or something, come back in like 15 minutes.
That'd be a good idea.
So anyway,
how
and
about
its
I
writers
do
to finalize,
anyway?
informing the world that we are nowhere near on track to minimize the effects of global warming to just 1.5 degrees. And
Why is it
instead,
global warming
we are now
again?
on track to exceed 3 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels by the end of the century. Going above the
straight line. It's always a straight.
How did that straight line?
A straight line.
How did that go beyond the projection?
Yeah.
Look at this.
It's always this is what I hate about these projections. They always go in absolutely straight lines, just like projections of bad companies going off. Oh, if this trend continues, we are the best company ever, and we'll make more money than Disney in about 2 weeks.
But
next week, oh, the arrow's pointing down. We are going to crash. We're going to crash.
Yeah.
And it's just the extrapolations are never useful. They only ever use straight lines. These people are unable to math and geometry and statistics.
Even look at this graph. It looks fucking fucky as hell.
Yeah, it does. But I was going to say, didn't they also say that because of the lockdowns haven't actually done much to reduce carbon footprints, even with all the cars and planes being not used as much?
Oh no, but they're saying it totally did, and that's why we should continue lockdowns indefinitely, or at least have a month of lockdown each year. Just for that. And I tell you what, we did the same.
No, they were complaining about it last year, but this year they're now saying it might work. But last year, I'm pretty certain last year there was a big hoo-ha about it because in Britain. That's what we call it over here, a hoo-ha.
You know what we had in East Germany? Car-free Sundays.
Startsy.
We had car-free. But we had
hormone growth in the Olympic women's team.
Yeah, mainly the hammer throwers.
Time out. Did you Germany? No. East Germany still a thing?
No,
Zach.
Yeah, East Germany still exists, but I'm not. Oh god, I'm not going to talk about European politics.
we had government mandated car-free. I don't remember if it's Sundays or whole weekends, but that you weren't allowed to drive your car to preserve fuel. That was because we didn't have enough. But essentially, it's the same idea. Just everyone shut down everything, so we do the climate stuff, and of course also harm all the industries that are not big enough to afford it.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same monstrous madness.
I think in the UK the problem was because no one was at work, so there was no cars on the road, so the emissions from cars went down. But everyone was inside on their TVs, laptops, computers, video games. So
that's a lot of energy.
From the power stations increased.
That's a good point.
So it was a bit like it's done absolutely nothing. It's the
just relocated the problem.
Yeah, just relocated the problem to another sector. So someone in the Green Party said, "Why don't we just get rid of electricity altogether?" And she's
turn to monkey.
Yeah, we start with electricity of all the Green Party members.
Yeah,
monkey.
That's because they are always the ones who want to stop last.
I miss when the Green Party used to be just about let's build a hedge somewhere.
Monkey.
And that was it. That was literally their entire political policy.
We're going to build a hedge in front of the sun? Oh, no.
And the sun's going to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we once had a surprisingly successful micro-party in Germany. They called themselves the Anarchistic Pogo Party. And they had a wonderful little party program. The Anarchistic Pogo Party.
Pogo Party?
Pogo.
What?
The Pogo Party.
Yeah, they just bounced from one topic to the other.
They were actual anarchists, and they had a great idea. They had a wonderful idea.
That is like the funniest image, man.
Their proposition was, we carve up Germany into 4 districts, and every district will house one political affiliation only. So all the lefties go into one, all the Nazis go into one, and so on.
Wow.
So you can put the green hippie nonsense people into another one, and then everybody's happy.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you just split up a country into like different political parties, and whichever one is still alive at the end of 10 years is the correct one.
It's basically like the
great.
island.
I'll just.
It's basically like Bear Grylls like Survivor thing.
This is just the Hunger Games.
No, it's no. You're like, okay, you want pure anarchy? Okay, go. We're carving out a small section of the country. We give you 10 years if you're still alive by the end of the 10 years.
Well
anarchy works.
I like the
I
idea
tell
of
you, the real anarchists, when you meet a real anarchist, they're surprisingly intelligent people.
They're not.
But not the people but the Antifas, they're not real anarchists. The real anarchists are really funny and witty. It's kind of interesting. I met the guy who founded the party. He's an interesting guy. He's like a German Alex Jones, but without the conspiracy theory. It's cool. Best some of the best conversations of my life.
Can you please just real quick? I know this is off topic, but can you please do an Alex Jones impression, but speaking German?
Yeah.
I am a gorilla.
Tell me that the frogs are turning gay or something.
They're turning the friggin' frogs gay.
Einen sprachen der Froggen gayen.
Yeah.
What is it? The destroy the child.
I don't know that one.
The child.
Okay, well,
No offense. If you're my neighbor, I'm gonna eat your ass.
I know that you guys are really into Alex Jones and politics in Germany, but all I wanted to do was pause on this part of the video where he's animating an arrow going beyond the projections of the IPCC. That's all I wanted. We're 30 seconds in, folks. Come on.
I am a gorilla. Love yourself.
All right. Let's keep going.
By the end of the century, going above this 1.5 degree change is going to cause serious damage to the livability of this planet.
How do you know
Going
that?
to 3 degrees may just open Pandora's box.
How do you know that?
Increasing the likelihood of heat waves, droughts, floods, and just making life more difficult for us and the plants and animals.
Anyway.
Okay, wait a
How
second.
are
Wait
you
a
getting
second.
this info?
Hold a sec. I would rather go up 3 degrees than go down 3 degrees for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to explain that. But if I have to, I'll go down the list of how death occurs in winter and how many deaths occur in the summer as a result of the weather.
Mm-hmm.
You have to heat your
agree.
homes.
I don't want Frostpunk to happen. Frostpunk is shit.
Canada is
I'll just say one
freezing
thing.
more than half the year, okay? We're still freezing right now. I would rather not have to pay for heating more than half of the year and be able to walk outside. I can do a lot more stuff when it's 3 degrees warmer outside than it is 3 degrees lower. So
What the fuck is this weird crab on the screen?
That's a turtle. It's a sea turtle.
Oh fuck! Okay, no, it's a sea turtle. Never mind.
What is
crab.
Your pattern recognition tisn't.
But
Listen, I'm playing Fallout 4. I can't be fucked to imagine what a crab looks like or a sea turtle.
one of those fucking things. It's got a shell. I don't know.
But I do like how, especially in Britain, talk about flooding as a problem because of climate change. That's not the problem. It's the fact we don't drag our rivers anymore, clear them, and they flood because they're just blocked up.
Just build a wall.
Systems.
Call it a day.
Also, the places that flood, quite ironically, are all built on floodplains. And the people who built on them didn't take into account that, hey, these floodplains, which flood every year, might flood. Let's do something to make sure they don't flood. What do they do? They made one sewer system that gets overflown within like a week.
This is what
floods everywhere. And
happens.
You go, climate change has done this.
Yeah.
East Germany has a similar problem, by the way. and as many good things, allegedly, I'm not that hard on history right now, as the great Fritz II had done, he was an idiot by...
Fritz?
Yeah, Fritz II.
Seems Fritz, that's funny to me.
Friedrich II. He made the floodplains of the Oder into habitable land, but that led to the Oder, the river between Germany and Poland. If you translate the name, it would just be the river Or, so either or. So either on this side or the other. It now has no floodplains, which means that it just floods everywhere. It was not smart.
Yeah, this is the same problem we hear in the States of just a lot of the eastern as well as central part of America. So New Orleans gets flooded every year, but you see the stilts that these houses are on.
Oh yeah,
some of them are smart to that, but even that sometimes is not enough. So
yeah, you see stuff like that in the east.
Something to try and combat it. In the UK, there's nothing. There's a small wall in most places that hasn't seen any maintenance since before William the Conqueror came along, right? Oof. And the government goes, "That'll do. That'll stop 8 foot of water surging down into the high street." And it's like,
see what they need.
Great.
Yeah.
Flex Seal.
Yeah, the big mistake
show you the power of Flex Seal. I cut the Hoover Dam in half.
About American flood walls is simply that, for one, they are only built to be high enough for floods occurring once in 100 years. When here in Europe, we built them for once in 10,000 years. So the highest thing we can find in 10,000 years that has happened, that's what we built the flood walls for, and we keep maintaining them. Second one, so it was because UK, in 100 years, this is just bullshit.
Yeah, in the UK we have measurements of like the highest flood, and there's a stick next to like bridges, and it says in 1904 this is how high the flood is. In most places, the stick is higher than the bloody wall protecting the village by at least a foot, and you're like, okay, so obviously this is no good anymore.
Yeah, we need more earth.
It's like probably
the second problem.
Or just dredge the rivers, because that's the reason. When it's all filled with crap, like shopping trolleys, broken branches, even natural waste that comes down from the hills, and it's literally blocking up the rivers and causing causing the rivers to rise. And the government's like, yeah, we could do that, but
we're just going to put a stick next to it.
That would require work. And look at our road. Can't even fill potholes in, let alone clean a river.
No, we'd rather rebuild a fucking city every time. Second problem that Americans do with flood walls is that they put them right at the edge of the river, so that the river still has no place to go. What you do with flood walls is that you place them away from the river, so that there is an actual floodplain that the river can extend over into. A lot of volume. Great, it's wonderful. Put your floodplains away from your flood walls away from the river. Next thing I've seen in the US is that it's some towns build flood walls and others don't, and are not high enough. And then the towns with lower flood walls blame the towns with flood walls or higher flood walls that the flood is all coming to them. Just build higher flood walls, you fucking idiots.
Here's Fritz Philogene II. Thank you for the donation. Why is Super Eye Patch Wolf trying to tell me that the planet having a second ice age is a good thing? Oh.
Maybe he likes humans to go extinct? I don't know.
A second ice age. Bro, you missed that by 30,000 years.
Not just a second. We've had a couple.
Yeah.
There's not just... the last big one. So we had a small one. And before that, we had a big one. And before that, there were other big ones. And humans were around during those.
They had
like what? It's
a Middle Ages as well. So.
Yeah, it's like how many 1,000 years? Every 1,000 years?
Every 10,000, I think.
Years.
Yeah. So humans had a couple of those to deal with.
Anyway, let's keep going. Mr. Sea Turtle, let's go.
Turtle.
Mr. Crab.
Weird crab.
In order to avoid that outcome, the IPCC laid out 5 steps we need to achieve. 1. Global emissions of
communism.
CO2 need to decline by 45% by 2030.
Yeah, China doesn't
so
care.
not China.
China does not give
I
a shit.
finally heard the fucking thing. The ticking clock, or the licking cock, or the clicking cock.
Licking log.
45%. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the only solution to that is that we glass China.
Google, what percentage of the population is China?
Oh, that's over 1/6 of the planet, I think.
With all the stuff we've done, we barely even scrape into 1%. And they're expecting it by 2030. About 10 years.
The West can't do that. This is something China and India need to do. I think mainly China.
Even if they all did that, it's 45%.
Yeah, and China doesn't give a shit. So this is just all in good faith that this is all correct, perfect. Yeah, you need to convince China to do this, and they won't. They don't give a shit. They hope everyone else goes extinct, and then they rule the planet. That's China's attitude.
This cuts into their concentration camp bills.
Yeah, they have world dominance plans.
You know how much money it is to run a concentration camp, Wiz? It's a lot.
No, I didn't pay attention to that in class.
Maybe we can convince them to, instead of putting them in concentration
Because I'm not interested in running concentration camps. I know this is very strange for a German. But...
Like, just use them to block out the sun, just instead of putting them in concentration camps, Like, you just get them in a big ball like that. You wouldn't fucking... What is it, in fucking ants? Is it ants where they have the big ball of ants? Or is that bugs?
Yes.
It is ants.
What in the goddamn? Where are we? What?
I missed the plot. What are you talking about?
What are you on about?
You know in the movie Ants where they get all the ants in a big ball?
Yes.
That,
Okay.
But with the concentration camps, and you put that in front of the sun.
We're gonna take all the Muslims and just
we're just gonna put them in a big ball.
We're gonna build a wall
isn't that
out
the-
of Muslims.
Isn't that
the Castlevania Legion zombie ball thing too?
Yeah,
we just float that up into the air and
exactly
block it out with a brethren moon.
What about a board cube? Can we get one of those?
No, that's a Borg cube. A Borg cube is a cube. We need a sphere or circle.
No, circles are gay.
The Borg cube in First Contact releases a sphere, so two birds with one stone, really.
So we just need a giant Borg cube that releases a slightly smaller but still giant sphere that blocks out the sun.
Solved it.
And if you elect me as president, I will devote literally every resource we have.
Yeah.
So this is step number 1. This is what the IPCC wants everyone on the planet to do by 2030.
Yeah.
See number 2.
Yeah.
If everyone on the planet
good
wore
luck
some
convincing China.
snowshoes...
Also, since he's showing wind turbines, I never check the numbers still, because I'm a lazy sick fuck. But from what I've heard so far is that the production and recycling of that stuff, or rather the dumping of it, and the repair in all around is not very energy efficient all over from what they produce.
Wisp, wasn't it you that was telling me
anyone know
figured
of
out a way to fix wind turbine blades or something?
Yeah.
Who?
I think it was you telling me that, or it might have been Smud. Might have been somebody that was based as fuck here. I don't know who, but somebody was telling me.
No. Just in Germany, wind turbines are just shit because they get placed in stupid places. Because the Green Party is corrupt as fuck. They place whatever the Green Party politician has ties to in the region. So when solar makes more sense, they put up wind turbines because the green politicians in the area are into wind turbine companies, and the other way around. And they've even cut down natural reserve trees in order to put up wind parks.
Wait, what?
Yes, that's the Green Party in Germany. Fuck them.
Yeah, they cut trees down to build.
In fucking natural reserves.
Forests to save the environment.
Not just forests, natural parks.
No, why?
What's it called? National parks.
But
not just any forest, because we have
national parks. Why would you do this?
There's a difference between.
They are saving greenery.
There's a difference between a forest. There's a difference between a forest, which is a forest where you plant trees deliberately to later harvest them for wood. Those things look boring and shit as fuck, and no animal wants to live there because it's just trees in rows. And Germany's full of that shit, especially in East Germany, because the East German forestification was absolute bonkers. They planted the trees too close to each other. Now we just have patches of dead wood that is just disgusting and looks like one of these black land cards in Magic the Gathering. So that's a forest, and then we have a Wald, which is a real forest, which is the woods you go to that is all natural trees and looks a bit wild and idyllic and all of that. And they cut down that to plant wind turbines.
Damn it.
So the environmental activists that are against nuclear power are now also against wind turbines because they're cutting down the trees for it. So
nuclear
now we've
power
had
is so clean. God damn it!
Lots of people are against nuclear power.
No,
Awful.
Yeah, but
were you here when I told why
Chernobyl
Germans
was
don't like nuclear energy? Zach,
Um,
were you here when I explained why Germans don't like nuclear energy?
No.
Okay, it's because it's highly corrupt. All the nuclear power plants we have are broken as fuck, barely repaired. So the maintenance is shit. We have some wonderful stories about that. Like in one, the fire inspection came around and said, "Oh, this room by new regulations, this room also needs a fire extinguisher." You know what they did? They put up a new fire extinguisher.
They burnt the room.
No. You couldn't come up with it. I think this was in Brunsbüttel. I'm not sure. But they managed to. They did put up the new fire extinguisher.
Uh-huh.
And they put it up. They put it up on the containment.
What? Why would they put on the?
They put it up on the containment wall. They drilled holes into the containment wall to put up a fire extinguisher.
Ah!
No. Why? Why?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
No.
That thing made
No!
headlines. That thing made headlines everywhere.
No!
It's fucking stupid. And then we have, and then the other big problem is, we have no contingency plans if certain reactors do blow, because they're all old as fuck. So all the Ruhrgebiet, the Frankfurt-Köln area, whatever, would just die of radiation poisoning because it's lower, and that's where all the radiation
It's cheaper just to die.
would drift to. So they have absolutely no contingency plans. Then they don't have enough what is it called, iodine, and they never will, because there's millions and millions of people. And why do they keep these old things running? Because they make money. Building a new power plant of whatever technology takes about 10 years to amortize. So if you cut down the old one, you're not making money off of that anymore. Building a new and that is all, by the way, nuclear waste. If you tear down a nuclear power plant, every grain of it is nuclear waste. It needs to be stored somewhere, which brings us not just from it's too expensive to build a new power plant and they want to milk the old ones as long as they run and don't go pop. The next problem is nuclear waste in Germany. I've seen nuclear waste facilities in the US. Got pictures of them. Look very awesome, very nice. You could probably eat off the ground, but I wouldn't recommend it. And everything's stored nicely in big shelves. The nice nuclear barrels, the yellow things with the little sign on it. All wonderful. And in contrast to that, I will show you one of the most well-known pictures of... I'll just check another DM and post it in this chat. Yeah, I think I had it in... I think I had it with Undoomed. Couple weeks ago, we talked about the very thing. And we talked about a lot of shit. And most of it is
on
Stargate.
a podcast. We talk about a lot of bullshit.
No. It was mainly
On
about
the
Stargate.
topic of bullshit. Speaking of bullshit.
So here's two very famous pictures of the nuclear waste facility Asse 2, which is just around the corner of where I live. More or less, I'm in the I am triangulated by 3 nuclear waste sites. Pretty damn amazing. And where's the group? Here's the group chat. So this is what German nuclear waste facilities look like. This is how we store our shit.
Fuck. That's good. That's fine.
Can you imagine why people have problems with this? This is a salt mine. They're putting the barrels into the salt mine, where the salt mine moves over time. It's more like a liquid. It's a very slow-moving liquid. And the whole fucking mine shaft is unstable, so it will collapse eventually. It's partially full of water at this point. They thought, if you put it in the salt mine, it can't get wet, does it? Right? No, actually, it is half underwater. And eventually, the barrels will pop up on the surface in, decades, maybe, like bombs from World War II. Because bombs from World War II also, they land, and if they don't pop, it's like they flow in a curve through the earth, swim through the earth, and pop up somewhere else. That's why it's hard to tell when where you will find them when they come back up again. Because you can't just know, it came down here.
I'm kind of proud of my country for being able to kill Germans 70 years after a war. I'm pretty good. That's pretty good going.
Yeah, if you want that. I think they it was I think 3 years ago they had one here in town where they wanted to build a new a mall, and they found one that was 2 tons of explosives. The whole casing was gone. It was all that was left was the explosives, butt naked. And I had to blow that up.
We have the same stuff in London.
And yeah, and they had to blow up that thing on the spot. It was funny. Everybody needed to keep the windows open, and it's a common thing that like once a year some bomb is being found.
Windows open. Why do people have to keep the windows open?
So they don't shatter from the shockwave.
Yeah, because if you keep them, if you keep the windows closed, they shatter from the shockwave. And there's no travel allowed in certain areas. So when the area, the worst case scenario area that's designated overlaps with the train tracks, then all train traffic is halted, which is also shit. So that's usually days off for many people. And it's about at least once a year in the biggest cities in Germany that had bombings. That something somewhere is, we found another bomb. Okay, that's maybe just 5,000 more. So in a couple of centuries we'll be done. Anyway, nuclear waste. Nuclear waste.
Never seen a ghoul before.
Next thing about the nuclear waste is the way it's stored is. Nuclear waste is classified in the barrels by light, medium, and severe, heavy radiation. But the problem is, it's not classified by what goes in, but how much it's radiating after you close the barrel and insulated it. So it can be that you put up heavy radiators into the barrels, and afterward it's just medium radiator. But the barrels are put into the designated caves for severe and heavy radiation. Now we're in a salt mine. Barrels rust, which turns the medium radiators free of their insulation.
So, Whisper,
and now you can't recover it because you can't recover the heavy the heavy radiators because they destroy the fucking electronics.
So are you going to say that the Germans have got to stop having salt and should just stick to vinegar with their chips?
I don't fucking know. But, you see the pictures I posted in the group chat. That is irrecoverable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is irrecoverable.
Anymore.
And this is Merkel's fault when she was health minister. She advocated for... environmental minister. And she advocated for this shit. For these nuclear waste sites. And how they run, and everything's fine, and we need it, yada, yada, yada. This was long before she was chancellor.
I really don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Yeah. So, and this explains why Germans really don't like nuclear power, or in Europe in general. Because it's just mishandled. to absolute
this is
insane
the
degrees.
one
And I
thing
keep
with
wondering if that's even on purpose and at this
This is
point,
like-
because
this
it's
is
just
the
so
one-
fucking negligent.
The one thing that I'll give France, is that they actually have nuclear power that is like significant. It's like that's okay.
France's nuclear power is just as shit as Germany's, and what you usually do with nuclear power plants as well as nuclear waste sites is that you place them at the border to neighboring countries. France's nuclear power plants are at their inland eastern border towards Germany and the Benelux countries, and some of the East German power plants are at the former border, and the nuclear waste sites are in the west are also at the former inner German border. That's why they're in the middle of the country and not somewhere at the border to some other country.
Yeah,
that's mainly the thing. And France's reactors, there's I think Cattenom, is that the one at the border? Cattenom, if it is, I think it is Cattenom. Cattenom is one of the reactors that has the most accidents per week. There's like 3 incidents per week. At least that was the case in 2011-12. Like smoke coming out, something else happening, power outages. It was all year long, all the fucking time. Nuclear power in Europe is handled like just what could possibly go wrong? It's just a nuke. It's just a leak.
The major thing with that is that it's still coal dependent, because the mainland Europe's got just so much coal.
Coal is great to get. Burning coal is great to get raw materials for nuclear power plants. You can get a lot of uranium from the sludge. You just need to know how to recycle and filter it.
Yeah.
And if you do a coal power plant right, you can get it without. You can get it with 0 emissions. You can do coal. You can do coal power plants.
Did you say that?
I said I just saw in the chat. Just launch the waste into the sun. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was actually looking that up the other day. Like, why can't we launch garbage into the sun? Turns out it's hard as fuck to hit the sun.
Yeah, because it looks like it's just straight up, but
like you think you'd just be able to just shoot it at the sun and call it a day. No, we're like centrifugal. Fuck. Can somebody help me out? Centrifugal force. Centrifugal force. Thank you, Hawk. Is a thing, and as you try, we're traveling around the sun at a certain speed. As you try to get closer to the sun, that speed comes into effect. So you would need to counteract.
Yeah, you just need to slow down.
The orbit of the Earth, which is hard as fuck to do.
The orbit
to be able
of
to
the
hit the sun.
The orbit isn't circular as well. So
yeah,
and also
dude, you just need to go close enough to the sun and then slow down, and the gravity well pulls you in.
Oh yeah,
it's not so much about hitting the sun.
So
you essentially need to completely counteract.
Go to the sun.
So
okay,
all right,
just go to the sun, idiot.
Kind of attempt to.
I'm sure.
Anyway,
I'm sure we're gonna have the conversation about getting near the sun when we continue the video. So let's actually do that. Here's some super chats I got to catch up on it because you guys have been talking a lot. So here's Punish Berserker. Climate change equals fake and gay. Oh, that's not nice.
Very based.
That's not a nice way to describe climate change.
Yeah, climate change isn't gay. It's like homosexual. So come on.
Oh, thank you for the clarification, Hawk. That's great. Here's Ultimate Fatty. Is this a hot take? China is worse than North Korea. For all the terrible things they both do, at least North Korea doesn't have much international influence. When they sort of threaten people with nuclear bombs, that's kind of a big deal. But
China was very.
I think also, one thing with North Korea is we don't actually know half the things they do.
Yeah, North Korea is a giant prison and a giant psychological experiment, and I think it's my personal belief that because North Korea solely exists because of China's protection. And I have a feeling that North Korea is just a giant psychological prison experiment run by China. I mean,
Yeah,
North Korea,
basically-
and
it's basically
that's what
following.
we. Listen to interviews from refugees like Yeonmi Park. She has a lot to tell about what really happens in North Korea, and what they do, and how their newspeak works. It's to the point that they redefined what love means. That love can only exist for the dear leader, der Führer. That's basically the same thing, and not for anyone else. Real love, true love, can only exist for your dear leader. That's what the youth learns.
I think it's more like a pharaoh. You know, it's more like he's like a god king kind of thing.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
the people were told it's a god. The people were told that their leaders are gods.
Yeah.
It's just that now with more and more tech seeping into North Korea secretly, where the people get a little bit more wind of what's happening outside of their country, that they cannot maintain that lie anymore, that their leaders are gods and that they are in fact fallible.
Mhm.
See, what he needs to do is to control North Korea, he should become a VTuber. You know, that would make sure that they'd simp for him. You know, and that would keep him on his
What?
side.
No, I don't think
just-
that.
Dollface, no.
All right. Here's the next
He
one.
needs to have his like own YouTube channel where like his own, not even like a YouTube, just a website where it's just him.
Like and
like,
subscribe.
doing VTuber. Like
to
and
get new
subscribe,
content.
or I'll kill you. Ha
All right.
Woo-woo.
Here's Punished Berserker. IPCC. Herder cut emissions by 45%. Me. Oh, look. Another bunch of science goobers to put in the locker. Hey, Bill Gates. You're going to have company. Oh, my God.
Yeah, to say Bears is not a fan of climate change would be an understatement.
He disapproves.
Okay. Here is Mike Testa. Let me guess. They want to block the sun for safety. We haven't gotten to that part of the video yet. We don't know. We'll find out soon. Here's Punished Berserker again. We ignore there's a German city named Bonespittle. Oh.
Is
Yeah.
that a translated name?
I don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
Presumably.
Because there's a lot of German cities with very strange and funny names, like just in the
Berlin.
no. Berlin is
Got
fine.
him.
No. Oh God, you have no fucking idea. South of here, in the wonderful Harz, there are the villages called Elend, Sorge, and the third one I always forget, which translate to
Whoa.
misery and
Spoilers
sorrow.
for the Zack Snyder cut, right? No
The
spoilers for
villages
Zack
are called
Snyder
misery
cut,
and
okay.
sorrow.
Again, as I said, no spoilers for the Snyder cut.
They're not. But
Yeah.
fucking like the UK has some fucking weird place names. You know,
There's also a village that you
There's-
drive through when you ride the train
there's a literal
south.
street called Bell End Way
Bell
where
End.
I live, and it's like
there
crazy
was
cool.
a road that I would always drive past on the way to school as a lad, which was called Trailcock Road. I always thought that was pretty funny. Could put a funny image in my mind, you know.
Yeah, when you ride the train south and through the Harz, you get through a little town called Salt of Heroes.
Oh, that's actually not a bad name.
Yeah. And then I think, and then there's villages like Kotzen, which means barfing. It's great. And there's hundreds of these places with really, really strange names where you think, yeah, at some point I named it because of some reason.
Anyway, let's get back to the video. We're on point number 2 of what the IPCC wants us to do by 2030.
Yep.
2. Renewables need to provide 85% of global electricity
God.
by 2050.
Yeah, not gonna
3.
happen.
Coal use must reduce to practically zero.
Whoa.
4. 7 million square
Done.
kilometers of land will be needed for energy crops.
Whoa.
And 5. We must reach a net
Energy
of zero
crops.
emissions by 2050. These are
Jeez.
Zero
incredibly
emissions.
ambitious targets that, let's face
Okay.
it, we probably
Okay,
won't
no,
achieve
no,
without a massive shift in global attitude.
Okay, as I as I just said,
Yeah.
you can do coal, no problem. We can implement filters in coal power plants that filter out 100% of the emission, and we can recycle all of that shit into whatever else. So that's stupid. We can have zero emissions. We just need to pay for it. China actually did pay for it in a lot of places because I don't remember what, I think somewhere around 2015 to 16. The Chinese government made a huge blunder. It was absolutely funny. They put out these government ads when I tell people on all these thousands of public TV stations, it's like Cardassia. What the people should do to be good citizens and everything. And they made the mistake to put out a thing about to be more environmentally conscious and to help to make clean air and everything else. And my God, it was showing all this blue sky and green fields and all of that stuff. And I don't know if you've seen pictures of Chinese cities. They're very smog heavy. If you live in a Chinese city, you don't know what the sky is, or the sun, or I don't know, maybe not even what green is. I have no idea. But they quickly pulled that down again. They actively censored their own government-made ad because they were afraid it would lead to riots. Because the people were pissed that their government told the people to cut down on emissions and be more environmentally conscious and everything. All the while, the government programs were the reason for the big smog. And so that ad was secretly shared around by people and seen a couple million times. And that means with every view, several people saw it. And that's what, and it spread like wildfire, which is why the Chinese Communist Party was really scared of the people rising up and being really pissed at the government because of that very bullshit. And that is the reason why the Chinese Communist Party started to implement smog filters in their power plants. Before they didn't have any, or not of any note. Because that costs money. And communists aren't very keen on spending money, really. They like spending money on big projects that make no sense, but they don't like to spend money where it's useful and worthwhile.
They like spending
similar to some capitalists, or more like
your money.
Yeah, it's more like robber barons. They don't care about your suffering.
Well, in regards to the video, I think all of these 5 points are somewhat impossible to even see an entire country, let alone the planet, doing. And the fourth one, to me, gets me a little concerned because I can't see the like spending that much resources on growing crops for energy purposes. I'm assuming it's like biodiesel or something like that.
I'm just going to say, with farmland, do you know how much waste food produce the EU make per year? With the land that is already, for farming.
No.
It literally, the EU makes enough waste produce to feed Africa 7 times over. But they just throw away.
I've heard of that in terms of food itself at restaurants from like Hong Kong and Vancouver, even in Toronto. There's a lot of waste into the hospitality industry. But
that's food that never even gets to anybody. It goes into silos to be stored, and because they never have a food shortage, because there's that much of it, all this food just goes to waste.
So
sounds like you can go right into a bioreactor.
How would we fix that? Actually send that food out to where it's needed to be. Send it out, to the countries that are struggling. We've got plenty of it. I'm just saying, if you add more farmland in, places, there's plenty of food. It's just the fact that we waste so much of it.
Yeah, well, that's,
And also, farmland
that's not-
farmland doesn't automatically mean goodness to the land. It can actually cause bad things to happen to the land
yeah.
as well. So don't just believe because you see a field full of food that it's good.
Yeah, but also, I mean, it's great to know that technically the food problem is solved. We're just not distributing it. In that case,
Yes.
In that case, it's really a distribution problem. However, it is usually better you produce locally, because what currently happens, because if you can't even have your own food production, it's unlikely you're gonna get any other industry going. And what happens with many African countries is that they get the trash from Europe, like chicken feed. Europeans don't eat chicken feed. It's trashy. Nobody considers that anymore as something worthwhile to eat. I mean, my grandparents still did, because they got through the war. They didn't have anything, so they like their grandparents ate everything of the animal. Chicken feed, for example, are sent to Africa, where with dumping prices that are lower than any meat produced locally, and that's being shipped across half the planet.
Same thing with clothes as
This
well.
undercuts, this undercuts any ability for the locals to build their own infrastructure.
Yeah.
This is what keeps Africa down.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that the idea of more farmland, it's like there's tons of farmland.
Yeah.
We're producing so much stuff.
Yeah.
It's a bit.
Yeah,
it seems like a bit of a silly addition when.
Yeah, and I mean, we could save emissions by not transporting bullshit that nobody needs, like chicken feed to Africa, or this eternal contract of delivering I don't know how many tons of rice each year from the US to Japan, which only rots away in Japan because it's lower quality than what they eat in Japan. But the contract still stands, so every year, I think it's somewhere in Kansas, not Kansas. I know someone whose family is part of producing that rice, and that rice is really just produced to be shipped off to Japan, to be stored in warehouses where it rots. And they tell us to tell us, the little people, the private people, to cut down on our emissions. They're not cutting down on the big bullshit projects anywhere. Come on.
Yeah.
Start with the big stuff. And then they cut down our natural parks in order to build wind parks. Fuck off.
All right. Here's another super chat from Punished Berserker. All I heard that guy say was, do you me science goober me and what? Big number says you gotta listen to me. Dur. Okay. Let's actually get back to the video because it's kind of hard to follow.
Yeah. We talk about a lot of different things, aren't you?
Yeah.
We are on a collision course with disaster, and we've no captain steering the ship. So do we have any last-minute solutions to save us from catastrophe? Solar radiation.
I just want to say something about that, because if you think you're trying to steer the planet in a certain ecological direction, I mean, just curb your enthusiasm just a touch, sir. Just a bit.
Yeah, also this is a really, I've heard this sentence a lot. It's a very dangerous school of thought. That
what are we going to do tonight, brain?
No, the really hard climate extremist activists, they want global authoritarianism because they think nothing else can steer us away from destroying the planet. And these are the same people, these are environmental activists who are anti-human, and I kid you not, I talked with these people. I've had them at our demonstrations back in the day already. That was 10 years ago. And they want, because we need to organize stuff together with other groups, for fuck's sake. Anyway, and I was part of a political party, so I need to talk with all these weirdo groups. So, point being, I need at least to know what are they up to, so I'm going to visit every fucking one of them. And these people, these super extremists who think we need a global authoritarianism to steer the planet away from disaster, also believe that we need to cull the human population because that is the problem. Don't ever think that they're the ones who want to be culled. They want everyone else to be culled. This extremism really exists. There are people out there, some with not a lot of power, but believe me, these activist networks, they always have friends in higher places, and you better hope that it doesn't go up very far. But there are groups of people who really want to cut down the human populations by the billions.
Mm-hmm.
Whether their plans are any good doesn't matter. So they will try, when they get power, they will try to fulfill their goals, just like anyone else with a political goal, just like anyone else. These are the people you should keep away from power as much as possible.
All right. Anyway, that was just a strange thing for me to hear. So anyway, let's keep going.
Management has been touted as our best option for rapidly lowering the planet's temperature. Solar radiation management is a long term for something the Simpsons thought of in 1995. Simply block out the sun to reduce the energy we receive here on the surface of the planet and therefore reduce the temperature. There has been several methods proposed to achieve this, some more realistic than others. The most sci-fi of
Today's
all the
weather
solutions
report.
proposes that we place some form of sunshade in space, like the one proposed by Gregory Benford. He recognized the potential of Lagrange Point 1, an area between the Earth and the Sun where the gravitational forces between the Sun and the Earth allow an object in that position to remain in that position. Here, a sunshade would provide a constant reduction in solar radiation, but placing a solid sunshade that would cause a massive shadow roving over the Earth's surface every day is obviously not a reasonable solution. Instead, Benford proposed using a concave Fresnel lens, which would not completely block out the sun, but diffuse its light. A Fresnel lens is a compact lens designed to minimize the weight and bulk of the material required to make it. It takes advantage of the fact that light is only deflected as it passes between the boundary of mediums. Therefore, the thickness of lens material really doesn't matter, only its geometry. So a traditional lens can be drastically reduced in weight, like so. He estimated that a lens with a 1,000 kilometer diameter could reduce the solar energy reaching Earth by 0.5 to 1%, at an initial cost of about $10 billion, a far cry from the prices required for our previously discussed method of carbon capture through afforestation of the Sahara. But considering the James Webb Telescope, an object vastly smaller than this lens, itself cost $10 billion, I would say Benford's calculations are more science fiction than science fact. On top of this,
okay,
yeah, because it only addresses 1% of the
small
light.
disturbances in the Earth's
I don't want a lens with sunlight. Has anyone seen a lens with like sunlight? Next time you have ants in your back garden,
do you remember?
Put a lens above their nest.
Big question.
No, he's making the Hammer of Dawn.
Who here?
Shit.
Yes. But here's the question: who here remembers why we got such nice, high-resolution pictures of the Earth in the first place?
I don't know. Some guy had a really good Nokia
so we
camera.
sent Peter Parker into space to get pictures of Spider-Man.
Yes, probably. That's the second possibility. The first possibility is the Hubble telescope was intended to scan. Or am I mixing that up now? The other way around. Anyway,
yeah, Peter Parker actually was in space. Not
you confused me. Now my memory is weird.
What are you saying?
The Hubble. I remember the Hubble telescope accidentally turned out the other way it was supposed to be. I took pictures of the thing it wasn't supposed to. And now I'm so confused I forgot whether it was supposed to make pictures of space or the Earth, and now it's doing the other thing.
It was well. It can be used for both.
I thought it was for being outside of. The point was that it was outside of the atmosphere, so it could see things that you couldn't see with the telescope in atmosphere. So it wasn't.
Really, it's not about the pictures. It's about the Hubble telescopes we made along the way.
It's about money.
But I do not. I don't want a giant.
Thing is just imagine that thing just turns around 180 degrees by accident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hammer of Dawn.
Yeah.
The spiciest magnifying glass.
Yeah,
This is so
Anyway, we're
dumb.
doing this incredibly dangerous thing here.
Why do you want to cool the fucking planet down?
No, thank you.
I, for one, welcome our new magnifying glass overlords.
Yeah, but it's just one of those.
Only a
Just
magnifying
like,
glass if you turned it the other way around. Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
but okay.
Yeah, that's what we're
in
talking
space,
about. If that thing
anything-
fucks
anything
up
could
and
literally
turns the other way
turn
around for some
Yeah.
reason.
Can you imagine the engineer at NASA putting it in the opposite direction? It's like, how do we load this thing into the module?
Yeah, they fucking.
They can't even.
They didn't pay
They can't
attention
even
to the
stop-
signage.
They didn't
Yeah,
see
but
the.
what if like?
They're just
But
like,
here's the thing: what if the measurements are wrong? No, but literally, like, what disaster was it when they the shuttle blew up because they used imperial instead of metric?
So no. That was actually it was a rover that was heading to Mars, and they for some reason did not make the conversion from imperial to metric because it was a joint effort across nations.
Yep.
So when it entered Mars's atmosphere, it just burned the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's also a NASA internal problem.
So
because
those are the intelligent people, and if it's supposed to be a worldwide thing, what's the saying?
And that is solved. They're all, as far as I know, they're doing all in metric now. And even back in the day, they did all the papers were all done in metric, but the engineering had to be done in imperial in part. And that is where the problems then occurred. The papers, and the plans, they were all in metric, even by NASA.
Okay, that's fine, but it doesn't mean that won't happen again. And with something this important, it's like I don't trust a group of people, and especially governments, who can't even fix fucking roads, to put a giant fucking magnifying glass of fucking doom in the sky, right?
Yeah.
To one,
possibly,
trust the American government with the hammer of dawn. This can't go wrong at all.
At best, reduce it by 1%. You know what?
I do not trust people with self-manufactured extinction level events when they're too dumb to tie their shoes.
Yeah,
this is not a good idea.
Either way, like even if it's the right way around, I mean, it could still cause like a whole load of problems by reducing the sunlight. You know what I mean?
This could go so wrong in so many different ways, and it's like, how about we just?
I do believe that is what he's talking about. This is a fucking horrifically bad idea.
Yeah, I hope so, because otherwise, Dollface, does it feel like to have a fellow countryman be stupid for this video?
Bro. Well, he's from the south anyway, so
I do think that is what he's gonna say, is be like, this is a fucking retarded ass idea because it worked out so great in Gears of War.
It sound a lot like Super iPad Wolf.
All right, let's find out what he has to say.
Yeah, I just hope so. But yeah, okay.
Gravitational can dislodge the object from its position, and so it would need some way of correcting its position frequently. I personally don't see this as a viable solution, and it is not being seriously considered by any governing body.
I feel like we're going to hear that a lot.
This can't be said for stratospheric aerosol injection. This method seeks to recreate the global cooling effects the world experiences during massive volcanic eruptions, like those of 1991 when Mount Pinatubo erupted, the largest stratospheric disturbance in a century, in a time when we had the tools to measure its impact. This eruption not only blew 500 feet of the mountain's peak off, it also injected an estimated 15 million tons of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere, where it reacted with the water vapor to form sulfuric acid. Atmospheric physics is definitely not my area of expertise, so I asked my friend Simon Clark, who has a PhD in the subject, to explain.
The sulfuric acid which formed in the atmosphere in the aftermath of the Pinatubo eruption had a substantial effect on global climate. In the 15 months following the eruption, the global average surface temperature decreased by 0.6 degrees Celsius. And this happened for two reasons. Firstly, the small droplets of sulfuric acid which formed in the atmosphere after the eruption reflected short wavelengths of radiation. Now, the sun mostly emits short wavelengths of radiation, so the sulfuric acid reduced...
It's all it emits.
Are we actually going down this route where they might be saying we should let volcanoes erupt so that they can block out the sun?
Yeah, but I mean that happens naturally anyway. You just need to wait for that.
There's not fuck
Yeah.
all we can do about it.
Yeah, I know that. But what I'm saying is, because the way it's sounding like this, it's going, look, we by just this one volcano erupting, it cooled the Earth down. It's like, no, but what are we actually talking about here?
So
Because
okay,
Acid
I
rain!
got you.
sulfuric acid is
I got you, I
bad
got you,
in
I
the
got you.
sky. Yeah, go on.
So he's talking about that this happened and that this can be viable. So he's brought his smart friend along to talk about how we can maybe adjust the atmospheric composition to account for climate change.
It would need to be some kind of molecules.
I hope so. I hope so, because if the way down to it was starting to turn to volcanoes erupting was good, I'm like, oh no, we're going down a really bad.
Well, he hasn't addressed.
But sulfuric acid in the sky isn't
not sulfuric
good.
acid. It's sulfur dioxide.
I'm sure he said sulfuric acid as well.
Well, he hasn't talked about the actual global warming issue that people are concerned about, which is certain gases get trap heat in the atmosphere. So now he's just talking about this volcano, which is fine because that's natural forms of pollution. But he's not saying whether it's more important than what we're currently doing, more deadly or more powerful than CO2 or all these other things. He's just saying this is a natural thing. And you're like, okay, what's your point? What do we get?
And it's not things
also,
we should artificially meddle around with, because
Zach said,
we do not understand
the
enough
volcano
about
erupted.
these systems. We do not understand enough about the weather. We cannot predict that shit. The climate at large, not at all as well. And we don't have any fucking clue what subterranean systems are running around. So in order to do these villain plots, these are Bond villain plots. All of these things are fucking Bond villain plots. Are you trying to sell us? Why are you trying to sell us mad plans of holding the world hostage and paying you $1 million US?
$10 billion.
$10 billion, and I will not
10
turn my
billion
super laser.
bitcoins.
It's like, was it? Is it Yellowstone? Is it that's got the massive super volcano under it?
Yep.
But if that goes up, it's just fucking game over for everyone. Doesn't matter about climate change. It's just gone. It's like, good luck.
It's a tickling cock.
Tickling clock.
It's a
licking clock of doom.
It's a tick. Okay. Fuck. No, I can't even. Even when I'm trying to fuck up, I can't fuck up. God damn it.
Oh, and I looked up the Hubble thing again, and it was that they polished the lens the wrong way, and that's why the telescope was shit. And I had to mitigate that with software to
always polish your telescope properly.
Yeah, well, they did polish it properly, just in the wrong way.
That's why I say polish your telescope properly, lads.
It's wax on,
otherwise
wax on.
Otherwise, you'll accidentally send pictures of yourself instead of...
Here's Punished Berserk with the $10 super chat. Thanks to Jay Inslee Governor of Washington, I believe, WA. The apple, growing state in the U.S., was too stupid to realize he shouldn't donate maggot-infested apples to unaffected orchards, but sure, entrust Hammer of Dawn to government goobers. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Why?
Yeah, they're not government.
Why would you donate apples to orchards? That makes no. What?
Seeds.
Yeah, seeds, but seeds are not.
But you'll.
But seeds are not maggot infested, right?
Yeah, but the apples with the seeds in it, they just send the apple.
Yeah, that's stupid. You know,
throw them into compost, right? And the apple degrades. The apple around it produces adds the nutritions of the compost to help.
This sounds like bioterrorism.
Not bioterrorism. It's just how you. It's one of the easy ways to make things grow.
No, I don't mean that. I mean donating maggot-infested apples to orchards.
Because he's incompetent. And yes, I know some of the politicians are just evil, but they are incredibly incompetent ones as well.
I know.
I know. They're called the Labour Party over here in the UK.
I have a story for you. One of the hyper-feminist social justice, because before social justice was a term, super feminists of late teens, I think, that ruined our party here, that tried to be classically liberal and science-oriented, all the empirical stuff, the nice. When they took over, there was one of them. I don't know if you've heard of. I forgot the name. The feminists who run around naked.
I heard of her. Yes.
Yeah. I forgot the name.
What's her name?
Yeah, I forgot the name again. And she was one of them, and they're usually not very pretty. And she threw a burning toilet brush at the Russian embassy.
All right,
That'll show them.
Yeah. The Russians thankfully had enough poise to not do anything stupid. Thankfully.
Who would have thought a naked feminist throwing a burning toilet brush would bring down the Soviet Union?
Yeah, well, shortly after, she eventually left the party because we are just misogynistic nerds and all of that. Our party was essentially already dead by social justice infestation at that point. It was just a couple months later, there were state elections in Berlin, and the left-wing party, The Left, that's the name, The Left, put her up into the state parliament of Berlin. So, couple months after she threw a burning toilet brush at the Russian embassy while naked, she becomes a state parliamentarian in our capital city. That's
women. You know what you got now, women. Get naked, throw burning toilet brushes, and sky's the limit. Yeah. It's they're not very. There are very dumb people and there are very evil people, and sometimes you have very dumb, very evil people, and throughout that you have people who are just dumb but not evil, and then you have evil people who are dumb, and sometimes you have evil people who are not dumb. Those are very dangerous. And then you have the occasional exception who's not evil and not dumb, and that is the one that all the dumb people and all the evil people try to cut off the legs off, because that is the biggest threat to all of their shenanigans. And that's why you don't find many sane people with spines in politics. You have to find a bunch of already a solidified group of people with brains and spines who are not evil, form that before, and go into politics as a closed group, because otherwise, that's what all the activists do. They go into politics in closed groups. If you go in alone, you have no one having your back. And that's why all the good people. That's the problem of all the. That's why all the individualists fail in politics. Sorry,
all right, let's get back on.
Back to super volcanoes and how they might be a good way to solve global warming.
The amount of negative energy
I know it's not,
the
but
sun,
it's just such a
which
funny
reached
point.
the surface of the Earth, thanks to the first law of thermodynamics, with the same amount of energy being thermally radiated out to space by the Earth, but less energy coming in from the sun, the Earth's global average temperature decreased. Note, by the way, that this is different from the radiative effects of greenhouse gases, like carbon dioxide and methane, which interact with comparatively long wavelengths of radiation. Long wavelength radiation is what the Earth thermally radiates to space. So by injecting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, we're doing the opposite of what happened in the aftermath of the Pinatubo eruption. We're limiting the amount of energy that the Earth thermally radiates to space. But the amount of energy that's coming in from the sun is relatively constant. So the opposite effect happens and the global average temperature increases. The second reason why the sulfuric acid from the eruption substantially changed the climate is because it was injected into the stratosphere. The stratosphere is the layer of the atmosphere above the layer we live in, the troposphere, and it extends from about 10 kilometers to about 50 kilometers above the surface. And it has very different dynamics to what we're used to seeing in the atmosphere. In particular, there's almost no vertical motion and almost no precipitation. So if you put something up there, it stays up there for a really long time. So the sulfuric acid had the time to radiatively affect the climate, sticking around for much longer than if it had just been injected into the lower atmosphere, where it would have been rained out in a couple of weeks.
So we know it works. The next part is figuring out how to implement it on a massive scale. Sulfur is a relatively cheap material, but getting it into the stratosphere could be expensive.
Acid.
Some have proposed
said sulfuric
balloons
acid.
that will carry
You
the
said
material into the stratosphere and explode. These are a relatively
Yeah, but
low-cost
acid,
solution for
still.
simple, low-payload trips, like
literally
weather
said
data
acid.
collection or sending
said
random
sulfur.
shit really high in the sky with a GoPro for a marketing campaign. But for something
Do
like
you
this,
have
where we will
my
need
question?
to spend millions of tons of material,
Can't
it's
get at the
not a
button
clever-
right now. Thank you. My question is, in case this turns out to be a really stupid plan with side effects beyond your comprehension, do you have a contingency on how to get the sulfur back? Because you should have that before you put it up there. You should know how to get it back before you put it up there.
Yeah,
But
just
they're
put it in
talking
a
about,
jar.
Like sulfur. Like even if you say, oh, it's sulfur acid, it's still acid in the sky.
I don't think he said acid, my
said
guy.
acid.
He did.
Nobody
He
said
said
acid.
acid twice. He said acid twice. He did.
He said
He did.
he said
He
he said
did.
he said sulfuric
He
acid
did.
in relation to the
Yeah.
volcanoes.
In relation to the volcano, yeah, which is what is
Which is not
yeah,
what he's
you
talking
put
about,
sulfur-
Hawk.
Yes, it is. The volcano sent up sulfuric acid into the sky, which helped stop the energy thing. So if we send the same sort of stuff up there, can we stop it?
Sure, why not?
That's literally what he just said.
Okay.
Go back 20 seconds or something. We know.
I
think it's disingenuous when he changes from sulfuric acid to just sulfur.
Well, it has to combine with some other gaseous compound. Sulfur is not just going to be a free radical. It has to combine with all
he
sorts of
said
other.
sulfur dioxide.
We
Yeah.
just have a nice
That's sulfur
free
dioxide.
powder.
yeah, but he's also mentioned
Said sulfur
sulfuric
dioxide.
acid with literally 10 seconds ago in this video about the actual volcano and stuff, saying like that is the stuff in the air that was doing the good stuff. I'm paying attention to this video. He's literally said it twice in like the space of 2 sentences, literally 10 seconds before this pause screen.
Yeah, then just go back 10 seconds and we'll know. Where is that?
He's now saying sulfur in the air with everything. Yeah, that's still bad with sulfur in the air. Sulfur's not a great thing to have in the air all the time.
He's conflating sulfur dioxide and sulfur, and it's very different to have the compound and to have like sulfur. It's very
Yes,
different.
I know there's a difference, but he's also talking about sulfuric acid, which was released with the volcano as one of the positive things that were in this air.
Volcano.
No, he didn't.
He said sulfuric acid.
He said sulfuric acid.
All right, let's do it again.
It's just the fact he's using so many different sulfurs, right, that it's getting confusing. Like, what does he actually want in the sky?
I don't think it's getting confusing. Nobody said acid or referring to.
He
what
said
we
acid. He said acid
Okay.
twice. I know the word. I can hear the word
Okay.
acid. He's saying acid.
Okay.
When?
Around when we had the sky pictures of the tornado.
Yeah. And he's literally saying it back in play.
Okay, the thing with sulfur is it pretty much reacts with virtually every other element aside from the noble gases. So whether it's going to be oxygen or nitrogen, it's going to combine into something. The difference is we usually refer to as sulfur in its gaseous state as sulfur dioxide.
Yeah, I know. I know that. Yeah.
When did you say
I-
acid? I'm hearing sulfur dioxide. When he
he's
says
saying sulfuric acid as well. No, but he's saying sulfuric acid in between the.
Oh, for
sulfur
fuck's sake! Just
dioxide.
run the video back!
Play,
God damn
play the
it!
video. Yeah, just play the video.
Whoa.
Volcanic eruptions, like those of 1991 when Mount Pinatubo erupted, the largest stratospheric disturbance in a century, in a time when we had the tools to measure its impact. This eruption not only blew 500 feet of the mountain's peak off, it also injected an estimated 15 million tons of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere, where it reacted with the water vapor to form sulfuric acid. Atmospheric physics is definitely not my area of expertise, so I asked my friend Simon Clark, who has a PhD in the
forms
subject,
sulfuric
to
acid.
explain.
The sulfuric acid, which
Yeah.
formed in the atmosphere in
Right,
the
okay.
aftermath of the Pinatubo
Okay,
eruption,
so that's
had
two.
a substantial effect on global climate.
He's talking
In the
about.
15
Oh,
months
for
following
fuck's
the
sake! Why can't I
eruption,
pause the video? All right, he's talking about the fucking volcano, Hawk. Not about
Yeah,
what
he's
he's
talking-
trying to.
he
Not
is
about
talking
what. Not
about
about
the
the
effect-
plan that he's
Yeah,
fucking
the-
suggesting.
the-
Yeah,
current
so he
the current
said, right, here's the thing,
sentence,
the
he's
current
talking
sentence
about
is
the
the
effect
sulfur,
of
sulfur
sulfuric acid.
dioxide reacted with the vapors of water in the sky, which exist to form sulfuric acid.
the
So
eruption,
sending
the global
sulfur
average
up
surface
into the
temperature
atmosphere
decreased
will
by
react
0.6
with the
degrees
vapors.
Celsius. And this happened
Just listen to this sentence here
Don't
right
bang your
now.
head!
Yeah, come on.
Literally, you
Yeah.
can't. Water vapors exist in the atmosphere. If sulfur dioxide reacts with water vapors to create sulfuric acid, then why is sending sulfur dioxide into the sky nowadays not going to make sulfuric acid?
Okay, just
Where
to
am I wrong?
Okay, just to clarify this for Zach again, here he is talking about how sulfuric acid in the atmosphere forms due to the volcanic eruption. In the end, you have sulfuric acid, and then he talks about the effects of sulfuric acid in the atmosphere.
So can we please get to the part where he suggests something to do with the atmosphere?
Let's just continue.
Yeah.
This episode of Relay.
What just
It
happened?
wasn't me.
Why has it gone back?
by the Earth, but less energy coming in from the Sun, the Earth's global average temperature decreased. Note, by the way, that this is different from the radiative effects of greenhouse gases, like carbon dioxide and methane, which interact with comparatively long wavelengths of radiation. Long wavelength radiation is what the Earth thermally radiates to space. So by injecting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, we're doing the opposite of what happened in the aftermath of the Pinatubo eruption. We're limiting the amount of energy that the Earth thermally radiates to space. But the amount of energy that's coming in from the Sun is relatively constant. So the opposite effect happens and the global average temperature increases. The second reason why the sulfuric acid from the eruption substantially changed the climate is because it was injected into the stratosphere. The stratosphere is the layer of the atmosphere above the layer we live in, the troposphere, and it extends from about 10 kilometers to about 50 kilometers above the surface. And it has very different dynamics to what we're used to seeing in the atmosphere. In particular, there's almost no vertical motion and almost no precipitation. So if you put something up there, it stays up there for a really long time. So the sulfuric acid had the time to radiatively affect the climate, sticking around for much longer than if it had just been injected into the lower atmosphere, where it would have been rained out in a couple of weeks.
So we know it works. The next part is figuring out how to implement it on a massive scale. Sulfur is a relatively cheap material, but getting it into the stratosphere could be expensive. Some have proposed balloons that will carry the materials into the stratosphere and explode. These are a relatively low-cost solution for single low-payload trips, like weather data collection or sending random shit really high in the sky with a GoPro for a marketing campaign. But for something like this, where we will need to send millions of tons of material, it's not a clever option. Others who have obviously not considered not only the cost, engineering impossibility, and energy required to pump the materials to that height, have proposed.
Is it just every fucking suggestion in this video is just, yeah, this wouldn't work? It's just like,
Yeah. Also, I just like to point out, he mentioned, I'm going to mention the acid, it rained out, so we had acid rain. So you have the possibility of having acid rain.
if it wasn't in the mid.
Dude, he's talking about the stratosphere where shit stays.
Then
Yes.
it rained out.
No, he
That's
said
what he
it.
literally said.
No, motherfucker. He said there's no precipitation in the stratosphere.
He literally said where later on it was rained out.
Giant towers.
He said it would.
Ultimately,
be
the
rained out.
easiest method would be the
It said it
tried
would be
and true
rained out,
method
yeah.
of hauling tons
Yeah,
of liquid
if
to
it was in the
stratosphere
lower
with
layer.
a refueling plane like the KC-10, which will be able to run multiple missions a day and carry 160 tons with each flight. This is a realistic solution that humans could employ quickly in dire straits, but at what cost to our planet? Once we start this program, we cannot stop until we reduce our concentration of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, which itself will take years if not decades of disciplined work around the world. We will need multiple of these aircraft spraying millions of tons of pollutant into our atmosphere
Jesus.
to counteract the other pollutants
This is
we've
crazy.
released. If we start without fixing the underlying issue, first, we will undergo rapid climate change to pre-injection levels.
Okay, so after all this, it's still going to not have enough time because it's going to take so many trips back up into the stratosphere to dump metric tons worth of sulfur dioxide.
Yeah, instead of doing these weird mitigation plans, install filters in your power plants.
This is a worthless.
It's possible. We have the we have the technology. We've had it for what, a decade now?
Dude,
fucking do it.
Oh my god, this video is so fucking worthless, and I feel dumb that we've been arguing about it.
Always leave out the cool stuff.
So essentially, he's trying to make a giant blanket to block out the sun's rays or heat. No. And because
put an ice cube in the ocean, damn it, do it. I'll just be down here. Don't mind me.
A shock change like this would give ecosystems little time to adapt and would likely result in a massive die-off. It would be like placing a bandage on a wound as it continues to fester under the surface unseen. Climate scientists are confident that global temperatures will stabilize if the correct concentration is reached. We have historic data from volcanic eruptions to show the method works, and we have decent models to calculate how quickly the aerosols will leave the stratosphere, and so how often we would need to fly additional missions. But what we do know is vastly overshadowed by what we don't know. Even our most powerful computer models cannot predict how this method will affect individual countries.
Right, so... Oh my god.
That's why it's a stupid plan.
Yeah, so we've come back to... We don't know what it could possibly affect. Could be very dangerous. And we have no way to reverse it.
Yeah. It's all reasons not to do it. Also, the other thing is, the sudden rise in temperature will kill off a lot of life on the planet. I thought it's the very thing we want to prevent. Why are we doing it?
Nanomachines.
Then just go on a normal course, install some fucking filters, and I don't know, have less farts, fart less, hold it in.
You just got one of my favorite super chats you've ever gotten.
All right, I have to read them now. Here we go. All the way from Mike Testa. This video gonna end like Return of the Living Dead. Oh, that's not a good example. I would hate to think we all become some weird sort of irradiated zombies, but okay. Mike Testa, Smud, can you give this nerd a wedgie and be done? At least he's trying. At least he's saying, hey, we can't change human nature. Let's change the atmosphere. Like, oh, okay. By seeding sulfuric dioxide in the stratosphere. Probably not the
greatest.
That's
a way better solution.
Yeah,
isn't it?
That'll work out real well.
It's simple.
There's no way it could ever go wrong.
I must have sat on the remote because 3 Stooges are playing. Oh, no.
I bet the next plan he will suggest is to lower the temperature of the sun.
Yeah, just turn it down, bro.
Ivan
what
the Mad
could possibly
Vandal,
go wrong?
Thank you for finally admitting that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Are you talking about the guy in the video or us?
Bro, just turn it.
The guy in the video.
Yeah.
Literally just turn it on, bro.
Just turn
the sun on, bro.
Turn the sun down. Turn the thermostat down.
Yeah, bro.
Down. The hit sequel to the movie Up.
Here's Punished Berserker again. Put fart bags in the sky because Sunman bad. Science Goober. Moments before his unfortunate death by bears inflicted atomic wedgie 2021 colorized.
I mean, he does it from the stratosphere.
This is madness. No, this is Sparta. Kicks into pit.
Okay. Well, it's
not like this is Sparta or anything, Baka.
It's 20 years after we put a metric fuck ton of sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. Oopsie whoopsie, me made a little fucky wucky, a little fucko boinko.
Okay, let's go.
We are still struggling to understand how our world is changing with a relatively simple variable like carbon dioxide concentration, trying to predict how the planet...
How could he not know the logarithmic thermal usage of CO2? This has been explained.
I don't know what the fuck you just said.
Okay, when you're talking about concentrations of CO2 in the atmosphere, I explained this before the start of the video. It has a logarithmic effect, which is a giant curve, that once you start putting in more CO2, it has a threshold that it cannot pass. So the more you put in, the less effect it has. That's a logarithm, the shape of a logarithm. And I said it's between 100 and 150. Let me give you the actual image. See what it looks like.
But would an increase in CO2 in the atmosphere still be detrimental to human life?
No, it wouldn't. It would have a diminishing return of storing heat. That's what I mean. It's a logarithm. It goes up and up and up, then it tapers off, and it keeps tapering off. And it never goes...
Right, but what about factors other than just storing heat, such as reduction in air quality?
No. We've survived in 800 parts per million. We've survived in... When you exhale, you know how many parts per million CO2 that is? From 6,000 to 10,000 parts per million. If you were in a room and there was no ventilation, you would eventually pass out, I don't know, after hours maybe? Like, we do this all the time.
Who was it? Was it Mr. Beast that basically tried to, like, he put himself into a bubble in a pool and tried to see how long it would take for him to, like, pass out from CO2 or some shit?
Really?
Yeah, I think it was Mr. Beast. I don't know because I'm trying to recount a video from 2 years ago. But he stayed in this fucking pool for, like, I want to say 24 hours before he almost died of CO2 poisoning.
Right.
And it was just a little, like, small 4 foot by 4 foot bubble that he was essentially staying in.
Like I mean, I don't know, if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend and you're really close to each other and you're talking and you're really intimate, you're inhaling each other's air. That's CO2.
Yeah.
Right, but if you're still in a... fuck it.
It will dissipate, but you're still inhaling a heck of a lot of CO2. We're talking about thousands of parts per million.
Right, but how would the reduction in air quality affect, like, animals, crops, weather?
Okay, there's a common understanding that CO2 is plant food.
This is going beyond retaining heat and such. But I don't know.
If you're talking about the life cycle of plants and blue-green algae, it's great for them. They love it. It is essentially fertilizer.
Right. I understand that plants love CO2, but fuck it. I've already lost myself here.
So what I'm trying to say is, if you look at the equation for giving plant life the capability of growing in harsh environments, we have seen, as I can show you some pictures. I think Hawk talked about it at the start. Right here, increasing CO2 in the air is making deserts greener naturally. This is without human interaction in multiple parts of the world. There's before and after photos, but from, like, the same vantage point taken to a photo from, like, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I don't think this has any photos here. But you can go search from, like, before or after photos of deserts. And you'll see a whole bunch of photos of, barren wastelands all of a sudden green.
Just let the sun shine only at night.
Yeah, the activists only ever showed us the desertification.
Yeah,
for example,
that's a natural thing too. There's all kinds of, like, here's a NASA satellite of the melting of ice caps or large ice sheets, and that happens every year, and it recedes and it aggresses. It goes up and down, so it happens all the time. So it's not a bit like NASA even showed photos of it actually getting bigger. So it's just they're cherry picking a lot. There's so much data to pick from.
Yeah, the UK only uses images of the Arctic that from after 1963, because before 1963 it showed constant growth for nearly 100 years. only after 1963 did it show slight changes of growth and receding stuff. So, but that's how it's in the UK, which has been called out quite a bit when it comes to these environmental things about the ice sheet.
Yeah, we have a few not czars, but some Canadians, well-known Canadians, have always been environmentalists for decades. It's like David Suzuki's probably the most famous in Canada, and he goes on tour. And I think when he went to Australia, he got flamed like you would not believe. Australians do not like climate change one bit. So it's just them asking simple questions like, what would this cost? What do we have to do? What is the solution? And there's no solution. There's no actual feasible method. Like this guy's talking about launching planes in the stratosphere to release gas and then doing this over the course of 20 years for, I don't know, who would do this? Elon Musk on his spare time? I got a few billion.
Fuck yeah.
Got a few $billion to burn. Let me just collect all some sulfur and gas and put in the giant canisters, launch it up into my rockets. Just
Yeah, I think he doesn't give a shit and rather tries to terraform Mars.
So I just put a video in the chat, by the way. I just remembered this from Doug Stanhope. He had this comedy bit where he talks about incentive-based eugenics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was just thinking about this while we were discussing it, but and some people in the chat mentioned the Rainbow Six option just eliminates 75% of the planet. I don't know about just killing off 80% of the world's population or whatever, but yeah, incentive-based eugenics to basically solve the overpopulation issue. So,
is there an overpopulation issue though?
With 8
Not
billion,
really.
8 billion humans on the planet.
No, it's not really. And they even
No.
It,
There's plenty of space for people. There's plenty of food for people. It's just the distribution of it.
yes, and the researchers into the field, like what was his name? Rosling. He's dead now. Thanks to him, we got data-driven documents developed, which is the funny animated statistics we have now. Very, very great. Because he wanted to make people understand what the data is actually showing, what it means. There are some talks from him online, and they're, I don't know, 5 to 10 years old at this point. And he explains the whole overpopulation thing is bonkers, is bullshit, that according to his research, the world population is going to level out at about 10 billion and then just stay there, because that's what it currently looks like, because it's just it's the generations that come up that come after, compared with how many are dying worldwide, is right now stable, which means that it's only getting that means in each generation, I'm using the wrong words, sorry. But he uses a nice analogy with boxes. Like 10 for every billion, he has a box, puts 2 boxes next to each other, and currently the old generation is just 2 boxes above each other and no parallel, so that's just 2 billion. And as these move up, as new generations come, it's just that this will level out at the end at 10 billion. I'm sorry, I'm not explaining this right now. It's a bit late, and my English is far from perfect. Well, that's the one part of it. The other part is that the whole because birth rates stabilize naturally once you get basic infrastructure going. Once your child mortality goes down, birth rates go down as well, because just like 200 years ago here in Europe, we families had 6 to 8 kids, completely natural, because most of them died in their early years. Now that isn't a thing anymore. Child mortality goes down.
A new kid.
Yeah, necessarily. That's also why women were so bound at home, because you need to fart out more children because they keep dying, so that maybe 2 or 3 stay alive after in the end. and actually grow up, be able to work and get children of their own. That's still the fact in underdeveloped countries. In India, which we always thought, they have eight children all the time. No, they don't. It's been years that their reproduction rate is down to, I think, 2.6 or something. So it's a modernized country. If your child mortality is down, you have good basic healthcare, you have basic education, and of course, what's it called? Basic contraceptives, like condoms. If all of that is available, your reproduction rate plummets. All naturally. The only other thing that makes you have a lot of kids is a stupid religion that tells you have enough children to fight all the infidels. That's the only other thing that keeps that up.
Which religion is that?
Like literally every religion. That's like
yeah. That's China as well. China wants to have enough soldiers, of course. They're going to ramp it up again because they noticed that one-child policy fucked them in the ass quite a bit because they now have an old people bubble, just like the Western world. Because that's that just plummets too fast. And the other thing is, when you're a developing country, they have their motorcycles and cars and all of that. Yeah, because they need that. As they develop, they not only can switch to better technology, but they can skip the bad intermediate technologies we had developed as we had to. They can just switch to the better state-of-the-art technology later on when they get to that point. Because it's already developed by us. And in the beginning stages, they have the fossil fuel burners, but that's not a problem because they don't have much of an impact. And it's just all this. This has all been explained 5 to 10 years ago. No, longer. Yeah, at least more than 10 years ago. Overpopulation is not a problem. It's not going to happen. And I think it was in the Business Insider. I have to look up the article. I forgot to archive it. Where the elites, whatever, researchers admitted they overcorrected for overpopulation, and now the birth rates are dangerously low and plummeting and are a threat to the Western world. They admit it now. They admit that what they've been doing for the past decades has been overcorrecting a problem that wasn't a problem. Because why else would they now say, they've been overcorrecting? And how have they been overcorrecting? With what measures? And we can puzzle that together ourselves, but it's really creepy when they say, we've been overcorrecting. Yeah, what have you done? Is what people say about the far left agenda of telling women to abort and not have families and not have children and sterilizing their children by believing they're trans when they're not even through puberty. Is that what you meant with overcorrecting? I don't know. Kind of. There are some vibes to some of these things because there are a lot of puzzle pieces that all aim into this direction of people not having kids in the West.
All right, we're almost done the video, so I don't know how much he has to go for, but I think those are the only two ideas he has in the video. I don't think he has enough time to explain another one anyway.
That will react, we force it in the other direction, is even more complicated. How will plants and microbial life be affected by the decrease in direct sunlight? How will the water cycle change? The rate the Amazon rainforest will inject water into the atmosphere through transpiration will likely fall. How will this modify local and global circulation patterns? Some regions will undergo rapid climate change with changes in precipitation and temperatures in ways we cannot predict. What impact will that have on political relations when some countries benefit and others suffer as a consequence of our geoengineering? Ultimately, the biggest problem this method faces is bureaucracy. Who controls the organization of a massive operation like this that will have a worldwide impact? Does one country, like the United States, take it upon themselves to alter the climate when their economy starts to suffer? Or will the UN come to an agreement on a target concentration? The technology is cheap enough that a single person with deep enough pockets could take it upon themselves to finance it, putting...
What a strange thing to say. What? It's cheap enough that someone who's really rich could accomplish it. Like, what?
Dude, this is really insane. He wants a Bond villain to do something that he and probably no one knows what effects it will have, and while knowing that it will put certain places into quick climate change in his attempt to stave off climate change.
Hey, Wisp, this Mercedes car is cheap enough that if you were a billionaire, you could afford it. It's like, what?
Is this guy listening to himself? I want to stave off climate change by subjecting places to even more climate change.
It's cheap. It's cheap enough.
Elon Musk clip, by the way.
Yeah. It's cheap enough if you're a cartoonishly rich and crazy a billionaire can start doing crazy shit. Then it's fine. It's like, what?
I think Elon is the vibe he gives off is he's the guy who has no trouble pulling off fun stuff like putting cars into orbit, terraforming Mars, by which he needs to figure out how to give Mars a working magnetic field. That's gonna be one hell of a thing. Who builds a boring company that just bores tunnels, and doing this hyperloop nonsense just for the fun of it. I think it's just a practical experiment, not that he's actually believing it will work. Just see what you can do with it, and maybe you get an idea we can implement elsewhere. Just because I saw these tunnels in sci-fi series, but I don't think he's the type to meddle with the Earth's climate just on a whim. On a system he has no fucking clue about.
What I could see, though...
On Mars, we can't break much. There is not much there.
What I could see him doing, though, is asking the government for a grant or a subsidy so that he would do this government application of seeding the stratosphere. Like, that I could see happening, because that's where he gets a lot of his money. So that could work with his SpaceX program, because he would have the technology to do that and the resources. So it wouldn't be that much for him to ask, say, hey, do you want to solve the climate problem? I could help you. And here's my plan. And here's, a seeding problem or a seeding program for sulfur dioxide. And all he's going to do is get billions of dollars to launch planes in the air.
I'd have to rewatch the initial part, because my memory is shit these days. But didn't he say in the beginning of the video with the volcano that it lowered the energy that the Earth was radiating out so that the temperature increased?
No, that he was talking. That was greenhouse gases. He was saying as opposed to greenhouse gases.
Okay.
Which stop energy from.
Okay, then I mixed those up.
So
I'm sorry.
The sulfuric acid, the results from the sulfur dioxide, stops energy coming in. That's the idea with it.
Huh.
Anyway, I just found that one line about it's cheap enough that if you're a billionaire, you could do it. It's like,
another reason to not have billionaires, maybe. An actual reason to not have billionaires.
It's like if you're
planning permission in space.
If you're short enough, let's say 6 feet, you'd have no problem dunking a basketball. It's like, what?
I, for one, welcome our new Elon overlords.
Yeah.
The fate of billion palm of their hand. In a sense, this is an analogous for the problem we are already facing. While small island nations are screaming for change as they literally sink into the ocean, while other regions suffer the worst droughts in decades. But for most,
I have a question on that.
On climate change.
I have a question on it. They've been saying that the islands are going to drown in the ocean for various decades, and yet all the money grubbing Al Gore's and Bill Gates and whatever their names are buying beachfront properties.
Yep.
So are the islands
They're
actually
buying
drowning?
they're buying properties on islands that are supposedly been sinking into the sea for 40 years. Like, okay.
Yeah, so have any islands actually drowned yet?
Just build more islands.
No,
idiot.
because I have a feeling that the Netherlands would be gone by now.
Yep.
Because even the Netherlands can't build their flood walls that high.
Yeah, the Netherlands are lower than most of these islands. And
The Netherlands are below sea level.
Yes.
The Netherlands are a coastal country that is below sea level. All that keeps them alive are their flood walls, which is why their flood walls work and why the Americans should learn from the Netherlands flood walls.
Everyone should learn.
Then you might not be flooded all the time.
Well, it wouldn't really matter because I'm from England. So.
Just build more islands.
Just build walls. Build the wall.
Gonna build a wall.
It will keep out the flood. It will keep out the water. It will be a very fine wall, and the sea is going to pay for it. The weird crabs are going to pay for it.
The weird crap.
The weird
Here's Punished Berserker. Most of them died young. Now, if only we could say that about the Rothschilds.
Spicy.
Let's not wish death upon our enemies, shall we? Mike Testa, sounds like a Scooby-Doo plot to scare people away. I don't know what exactly he's getting at here. It's always fear-mongering with people talking about the climate. So
yeah, I don't even know what he wants. Does he want? So because all I get is now that he wants, instead of instead of climate change, he wants plants that make climate change.
Yeah.
Because people die, and now he would rather, and the animal life will die, and whatever. And instead, he wants things that make people die and animal life die. Yeah. How about we just don't? This just sounds like getting to the same problem with extra steps. How about we just do anything else, like play poker?
Or
Smash Brothers. I don't know.
I'll say it again. Incentive-based eugenics.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give you a season pass. We'll give you season pass to the NFL if you just snip those bad boys off.
Yeah. In Canada, you're not even. In Canada, we're at the point.
Literally.
Well, that's what that's literally what Doug Stanhope jokes about. Is like we'll give you front row seats and a season pass to next NASCAR season.
Look at
you're telling me I get to sit on the front row and watch Dale Earnhardt Jr. go around that track? Sign me the fuck up.
What junior? You already cut your balls off.
Yeah.
Take them both.
Yeah, but what was it? 4 or 5 years ago, Jordan Peterson warned about that police speech will lead you to be thrown into jail, and they called him a conspiracy theorist and doomsayer and insane and an alt-right whatever.
Huh?
And now in Canada, we have the case that a father of a 14-year-old girl who suddenly identifies as trans out of the blue is not allowed to call his daughter in court, is held in contempt of court for calling his daughter her and she and daughter, and has now been thrown in jail because of that.
Based by that man of drink.
That is insane. I hold that Canadian court in contempt of reason and science.
Anyway, to be honest with you,
appeal to authority, but that is a trans person also saying this. Like Jesus Christ.
I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, the irony.
But this I'm with Wisp with also with this video, as in I don't really know what this guy actually wants. Every idea he's come up with has just been utterly fucking terrible.
He has a silver play button. He must be right.
There you go.
Well, that was someone else. That was another guy he was
That was
referring
someone
to.
else.
Yeah.
That was
That
another
was
guy.
another guy.
Doesn't he also have a
That was a guy.
silver
That was a
play
guy
button?
he got in.
Oh, okay.
He had a
Yeah,
PhD
that was
a guy.
in.
Now that is an
Uh,
opinion of authority.
I think. Oh god.
I have a
I'm
silver
sorry.
play
I
button.
didn't drink
Listen to me.
anything yesterday by accident, and
Why?
I think
Serve yourself.
because I don't have a sense of thirst, and then I'm just
Don't have a sense
now
of
being
thirst.
able to get anything in. So it's probably why my brain's a bit slow today, more than usual.
Listen,
I don't have a sense of thirst.
sense of thirst.
Yes, I don't have a sense of thirst. It's actually a bit
I'm a simp. I don't
not
have
good.
that problem.
Yeah, it's not good. It's really not good.
I think I drink on
I
principle.
once in
Thank you,
20
Hawk.
yeah, it was in 2009, I think, that twice I almost thirsted to death without noticing it.
Fucking hell, man.
Thirsted to death. My God, just masturbate. Don't worry.
No. What? How is that supposed to when you don't get fluid?
Don't want to be thirsty anymore.
Oh, you don't. You
No,
don't,
it was actually quite the
You don't
was
thirst
with
to
my
death.
yeah, but I was with my
what's the
roommate
actual
at
word
a
then? What's the actual word? It's not
Dehydrate?
You thirst. Yeah, you don't thirst to death.
yeah, I don't know how do you say that in English?
Some people you kind of wish you would.
I dried up. I don't know. But it's actually quite funny because normal people they go into panic and everything and get dry.
You're right about that. This is funny. I'm just.
I would like to point out, by the way, I'm just gonna real quick. We've gone from yelling at each other to me slamming my head on my desk in frustration to laughing at Wisp almost dying of dehydration in the span of
thank you.
2.5 hours of this live stream.
Oh, thank you, dehydration, and don't forget the weird crabs. You crabist?
Yeah, you crabbist.
Or is it turtleist? I don't know.
Well, I think racist works well.
Well, one of those shell things. I don't know. One of those ones. They got a shell.
Yeah. Well, it was actually no. It was actually the funny part is I was with my roommate at the time. Wanted to play board games with a friend, and it was that friend's wife who figured out what my problem was, why I was so tired and getting slower and more. I looked quite pale. And I had trouble explaining the rules. We were trying to play Arkham Horror, and there's a lot of rules. And since I'm autistic as well, the guy who's also autistic asked the wrong question. He asked me, "What do you want to drink?" And since I don't have a sense of thirst, I never want to drink anything. With autists, you need to ask precise questions. It's a bit annoying. And that's not because to be an asshole, it's just that you ask me a question and here's the correct answer to the exact wording you just gave me. That's very likely the communication problem with autists usually. So I said nothing. So I was about in my, I think 60 hours of not having drunk anything. And I was like, what do you want to drink? I don't know. Nothing? I don't know. And then his wife asked the right question. She asked, when did you last drink something? And then I leaned back in the armchair and started to think.
3 days ago!
Yeah, I said it was Saturday evening. And I said, Thursday noon.
So
it was 2.5 days.
It's
It was 2.5
literally
days.
SpongeBob visiting
Yeah.
Sandy's house for the first time.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I just realized the information, and it didn't scare me. It was just, that's an interesting fact.
I don't need it.
I probably should drink something. And she already had jumped off and had run into the kitchen, and she came back with tons of just water and cartons of milk and juice and everything, and just. And the glass, and just take something. It's okay.
I don't need it.
I took a carton of milk, I took a carton of milk and I just emptied it. I don't know where it went. The whole liter was just gone. I didn't feel it reaching my stomach.
Hopefully
Just
into your mouth.
Downwards.
It just evaporated in my mouth. It was only after half of the second liter I drank that I noticed. Something's in my stomach.
Weird.
It was really funny. And
I almost died. Anyway,
Anyways, the wall. Anyway, Germans. Fucking Germans.
That's the German language.
Yeah, but
is
it's a
very
bit like
literal.
instant human because really it's just about 10, 20 seconds and you're back up at your normal activity, capacity, thinking, talking, energy.
It was crazy. I drank some water and I was good to go.
Yeah, it's a bit like it's just instant human. Add water, human functions again. It's great.
It's almost like this is a necessary thing to do. Why do more people figure this out?
Wisp, I want to tell you this every time I speak to you, but you are a fucking treasure.
Thank you.
I'm just thinking that
Every time I
That is a
talk to
real
Wisp,
gem.
I'm just like, you are a treasure. Please stay around.
I'm trying to. That's why I'm drinking something. No.
I'm trying to.
This is Wisp's origin story. Wisp used to be like a puddle. And then... yeah.
Now I hope Botan watches this and makes art.
yeah.
All right,
Sounds like
so
a
Both him makes art, and it's just SpongeBob. It's coming back to it.
I am not SpongeBob.
I don't need it.
Where it's like I forgot to drink and then got sent to another world as a wisp.
I don't need Raccoon. I just need to forget to drink.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
all right, so we have 2 minutes left. I don't know how much more you can talk about science, but
I think most of that is the fucking.
We'll get a skill share.
It's the skill share.
After this wonderful apocalyptic scenery.
because the first part was a skill share mentioned, so yeah, he's gonna do it.
He's still gonna say it again.
All right, let's hear it.
Climate change
Thanks
is
again
in
for
their
skill
interest. Their commercial inertia just keeps them steamrolling along,
That's fun.
not noticing the insignificant minorities in their path.
commercial inertia.
If we could
That
manage,
was a really cool building. Holy shit, what was that?
Hey, go back.
I like that building. Wow.
Dude, that's awesome. Give it. I'll take it. Take your entire
Is that
stock.
USD to BR? What is BRL? Is that a
Barrels.
Brazilian rubles.
Brazil ruble. Rubles.
So many
BRL?
barrels.
Barrels.
Okay, so I'm assuming it's that crude oil, maybe. Okay,
Barrel.
but that is
I don't know where do you have Reese's and the Krone Plaza Hotel
yeah.
Buy a barrel for $3.74.
or whatever that's
Or-
supposed to mean.
Great price.
Yeah.
That's a great price.
It's a great price.
If I'm like a stockbroker or some guy who's like, oh, what did the day close at? I'm too busy. I'm too busy at my long 3-hour dinner. It's 9:00. Oh yeah, look at that building. It's got all the information I need
I will just stare at this building.
for the next 20 minutes. Yeah.
Stock what I want. Yeah.
My job
Rolls
is to
around.
stare at this building and influence the economy and buy Tesla. That's it. I buy GME, I buy Tesla, and I stare at this building. That's
This is
all I
actually-
do.
This building is actually just someone's like monitor setup.
He got
This
really
is
bored
actually-
one day. He just blasted it on.
No, Hawk.
Every
It's
window.
Bears' computer right here.
There's like a guy just in his game.
This is Bears' new rig. By the way, Bears just got a PC.
Oh, really?
Run the PC,
Yeah, Berserker. He just got a PC, which is mind blowing that he's sending super chats.
This is PC.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I know.
it's amazing he has money for super chats right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're meant to be saving for a car.
God damn it, Bear! Why aren't you saving for you? Fuck! You fuck! How dare you? How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
Oh, don't talk about bears again. No, we can't.
No.
We talked enough about bears.
As long as you're not making bear puns, I think we're okay. Yeah.
Dude,
We've
he,
literally made
listen,
4 bear
it's
puns
a-
in that sentence.
he spends all day catching salmon by the river, and then he comes in here, spends money on Super Chat, still doesn't buy a car. God damn it, Bear.
Oh, bear.
Oh, here's a super chat I didn't read. To Tim, 505. Did you hear about Geeks and Gamers and Zack Snyder? Yeah, we were talking about that before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. Not a story.
Very big deal.
Yes.
Biggest story of the year.
Yeah.
Lewis Lane is gonna have
You
a
heard
bitch
it
fit about it.
I'm just looking forward to seeing everyone's disappointment with the Snyder Cut because it already sounds like it's not that great.
Well, fuck's sake, dude. All right, so I'm gonna talk about the Snyder Cut for a second.
Oh, no.
I started watching it this morning because I just don't sleep anymore, I guess. It was, I got about 20 minutes in, and all I got was just more slow-mo shots, Bruce Wayne riding a horse across a mountain, and a Russian woman singing some fucking hymn while sniffing Jason Momoa's shirt.
What?
I watch the first 20 minutes of the Snyder Cut. You will know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
I think
It's
Did they get the elemental stones from the opera singer's belly?
No.
no, it's not the Fifth Element.
See, now I want to watch. Now I want to watch The Fifth Element. It's a good movie.
Dude, the Fifth
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Smud, do you want? Let's set up a movie night.
Well, I'm doing I'm watching the Zack Snyder cut in 2 days with my team, so we're having a good time there. But yeah, we can do
You
a
have
movie
a
night,
team?
no problem. Yeah.
Wow, I'm not in the team. Wow.
Well, it's not
Calling
my
racism.
team specifically. It's Voice in the Radio. It's his ambition to get this all organized. So.
Racism.
Oh, nice.
Because Voice is a radio, he doesn't associate with shadow people. Wow.
You can ask him. He doesn't care. He loves it.
I'm
But good,
part
I'm not a
inanimate-
shadow person, but some ghost thingy.
I'm part inanimate object on my mother's side.
I brutally do not give a shit about the Snyder Cut.
I give a fuck because I enjoy. Well, as tism as it is, I still enjoy Man of Steel. Just for the jangling key. Yeah, I know. Okay, so a few weeks ago we watched Man of Steel. It's really bad. Man of Steel is fucking atrocious, but I enjoy it.
The quicker society forgets about the DC EU and moves on and creates something else, the better. In my
that's
opinion.
so-
I just
but
think,
there's
I think
such
the whole
what-
thing is just a garbage fire of just absolute magnitudes.
It's a
that, like,
garbage
even-
fire of fuck. I agree.
But there's such wonderful moments that I noticed on when Berserk when we were covering some video essayist about Man of Steel on Berserker's stream. I think it was his.
Yeah.
I noticed that one of the explosions where Superman throws in some truck into some train tracks, right when the explosion starts, there are two people in the bottom left corner, and then when the explosion starts, they're digitally brushed out so that they don't die.
Yeah, but Wisp, no one uses parking
awesome.
lots.
It's what? Parking lots?
No one uses parking lots to park their cars. So when one
What's
gets
that have to
destroyed,
do
there's
with
obviously no
anything?
one there.
Nobody uses parking garages.
I wasn't talking about parking garages.
Yeah, but
No.
that's in the same video we covered.
All right. Oh, you were there?
I was there.
I was there.
Hi.
We were
Hello.
all there. Hi.
We were all.
You too?
Yeah. Hi,
I
Wisp,
was there.
yes, hello,
You were
yes,
there. He was there.
I was on that stream with you as well. Yes, hello.
Yeah,
Man, you
Zach-
sarcastic whore. Nice to meet you.
Wait. What? Zach was there too?
Yes.
Yeah, Zach was there too. Yeah.
And
Oh my
Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh my god! I need to
How did
drink
you
more.
How did you forget half the people who were there?
Dude, I remember stuff that happened to me when I was 2 years old, but I forget
Dude,
this shit. I'm
Wisp
sorry.
can't remember to
Wow.
drink water. You really expect her to
Yeah.
remember who was on this podcast 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I just
I think
I'm
Zach
just- I'm
makes a
sorry,
very compelling
since it-
point.
I like the fact that she remembered two guys being airbrushed, but not the fact that an entire parking garage got destroyed in the battle in Metropolis.
Oh
And the
yeah,
guy
I
went,
know,
"It's
that
fine,
happened too.
no
but
one parked
that wasn't what I
cars
was
there."
talking about. I was talking about the train track explosion.
Autist, remember?
No, it's not. It's not an autism. I don't think it's an autism thing. I think because of the autism, my long-term memory is really awesome. But ever since the PTSD shit happened, I've not been sleeping well. I only sleep 3 to 5 hours a night, and that is with sleep meds.
So what you're saying is you've got dementia. Cool.
You're straight up fucking.
Yeah, maybe sleep deprived induced dementia. Maybe, I don't know. It's not fun. It's a really weird feeling when I don't know where my keys are. It never happened to me before. I'm not used to that. That just means
you meet new people every day.
Yeah.
No, I've been told lots of the stuff that I have trouble with now is just how normal people are, and I shouldn't be worried about it. But honestly, if that's how normal people are and their memory is, then that explains a lot why the world is shit. I may be talking from a high horse here, but
not your short-term memory.
When your memory gets worse, it doesn't matter whether that's now it's like normal people. No, it's just you lost a part of how good your brain works, and that is just fucking scary.
Oh, I lose part of my brain every time I cover videos.
Mike, Wisp can remember the Holocaust but forget to drink. Oh, come on.
I'm not old enough for that. I'm not that old. I'm not that old.
Wisp is a boomer.
No. I'm not that old. I remember socialism, but I don't remember that. That was before.
I remember East Germany. I remember West Germany. Not fuck else, though.
Not this Germany. Shit.
Hmm.
Anyway, can we just finish this video?
Let's go.
Never.
Noticing the infinite minorities in their path. If we could manage to create a single global authority with the power to act on climate change...
A new world order! Let's go!
Okay, wait a second. We already have the IPCC, this Intergovernmental Panel. It's already a global authority.
New world order.
He wants a global tyranny. He wants a global tyranny. He just said it.
Authoritarianism, yeah. If only we could have some sort of world, authority in sort of like communism sort of communist.
Government. We can call it Caesar's Legion. All right. So what's going to happen?
He himself said
we'll call it the Soviet Union, and
he himself just said these are insignificant minorities. Do you think the global authority will give a shit about insignificant minorities? That's just statistics.
The greater good.
The greater good.
Shut it!
The greater good must be appeased. You must be sacrificed. You must be sacrificed to the golden throne.
You must be sacrificed to the great Greta.
Ugh.
So this went a little too far. Even with all the other science and engineering stuff, he's like, "Oh, we need a global authority.
We need a new world order." Oh no,
order. It's like,
yeah. All right. Well,
yes, we get it.
I want it. Yeah. It's not conspiracy theories when I tell you they want it.
We were doing well.
Yeah.
What's it they called? They call them watermelons, don't they? These sort of people.
Lemons.
I would hate to see the IPCC in charge of anything. But they like to make reports. That's all they do is make reports every few years. That's all they do.
Yeah.
It's a very expensive piece of paper.
Can you just make a report about something? Like what? I don't know.
This is what you know what the reports are?
Screwing chicken.
The reports are a bunch of recordings of temperature and a bunch of computer projections that are always wrong.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
Yeah.
If the trend continues like this in a straight line, then things are really bad.
Good thing it's not going in a straight line, you fuck.
How much did we pay you for that?
Yeah.
$1.2 billion.
About $1.9 trillion of taxpayer stimulus.
How many?
Oh, by the way, since we're talking about all this Bond villain bullshit, Evil Genius 2 is coming out.
Oh.
Okay, but how much is that in barrels?
I don't know how many Evil Geniuses
per American dollar.
How many is that in barrels?
How many evil geniuses can fit inside of a barrel? And other important questions on today's TED Talk.
And how many geniuses in barrels can we fit in front of the sun?
If we take every barrel on the planet Earth and just put it in front of the sun.
How many geniuses can we fit into German nuclear waste facilities?
African or European barrels?
All right, let's finish
Oh,
this off.
Did you show the pictures?
Yeah,
I posted.
yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Those I don't have the stream open. Yeah, they're
We've
beautiful,
gone
aren't
from
they?
yelling at each other to weird crabs to
Zach.
like
Bond villain.
we have been we've gone every fucking direction in this video, and if frankly I'm here for it. I love it. You guys are good friends and good people, except you, Hawk.
I like Hawk.
Well, that makes one of us.
Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that.
Anyway, let's finish off this wonderful global governmental idea.
I can't wait for the
Please,
new world
global
order.
authority, inject the atmosphere with stuff. We don't know what it will do to the planet.
Yeah.
You'll stay
All
there
we
up
need
forever.
is Caesar's Legion to nail degenerates
Also,
like you on a cross.
Isn't it also like we've got the United Nations?
No, it's not like we have the United Nations. We do have a United Nations.
Yeah. But why do we
mean
need
with
a
all
brand new one?
We need
Yeah,
a League of
no,
Nations.
Nations
I think
aren't
the League of Nations stuff works much better.
Dude.
League of Nations. The filth.
Hawk, French is my favorite English language.
Mm-hmm. And sea turtles are my favorite type of crab. So.
Okay, let's go.
Be in better minimize the impacts of climate change. To make these changes, we need committed leadership. We need more people to care about this issue and take action. I'm trying to use my platform here to encourage you to be that change.
1,000 grandmothers? That's a lot of grandmothers.
To use your
Segway
voice
coming.
to inspire action.
Segway
To help
coming.
you along
There it
with
is.
that goal. You can take this course teaches you the skills you need to present your ideas.
Oh my god!
Inspire.
Oh my god! Oh my
This is
god!
just
Oh my
one
god!
in
Oh my god! No,
That was
this
perfect.
is
That was
horrible.
wonderful.
This is insane. This guy just told us absolute superficial crap about the climate change issue. Told us here we need Bond villain plans and single individuals to do this, or global tyranny to enact these things. And now I'm telling you where you can
It's a skill
get
share.
knowledge. No, wait.
If
no,
you want to
worse
enact a
than that,
new
worse
world
than
order,
that.
use Skillshare. Skillshare
Worse
has
than
many
that.
great
No.
resources for you to learn how to enact a new world order.
No, it's worse than just his Skillshare.
Dude,
It's now he's
PogChamp in the
telling.
chat.
Now
PogChamp
he's
in the
telling his
chat for
audience,
the Skillshare.
become
head.
an activist, become a propagandist, and spread the bullshit I just told you. This is horrible.
Oh, yeah.
This is. I'm sorry. This is evil. This is maybe
Yeah.
maybe he's an idiot. Maybe he's a useful idiot. But this is
Maybe.
evil.
Maybe.
Oh,
You
he's
use that word. I don't
Benefit
think
of
he's
the doubt.
Irish, yeah.
Benefit of
He's Irish.
I don't think people like
Yeah,
him
he's
are
Irish.
conscious of what they're doing. I don't think he's conscious of what he's actually doing.
Let's get some
How do you know he's
PogChamps in the
Irish?
chat for calling the Skillshare ad. Let's go.
So, Smud, how do you not know he's Irish? He can't say like t and t's.
Oh, yeah, is that the indication
like
he's Irish?
Yeah,
That's
one of the big
definitely
indications. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Glibs
But,
in the chat. Can we block communism to save the world?
I wish.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
this
better
is,
effect.
this is great. This is just what a waste of a video. He just literally went, "Can we do this?" No, it's too
Democracy.
bad. But anyway,
Autocracy. Capitalism. Theocracy. All the nations lived in harmony until communism attacked.
oh,
Can we block communism to save?
Well, I think we're officially done. I don't think we have to go through any more of his
Yeah,
sales
I-
pitch.
But how am I supposed to learn how Skillshare can teach me to overthrow the world governments?
No, build the world government.
Well, yeah, he wants to.
Right, we have to overthrow the world governments with...
There is no world government. He wants to build the world
That's
government.
what they want you to think.
to think, yeah, God, jeez.
Okay, I'll rephrase it
Wake
for
up!
you. They want to
Wake
make the
up,
world
sheep
government
ghost.
known. Okay, is that better for you?
Wake up,
Mask off, boys. No optics. We're going in.
Oh, wow.
Screw your optics. I'm off my meds and I'm going in.
Oh boy. Okay, well, I'm gonna try and rewind this so we have a nice thumbnail for the video.
Dude.
Not that one.
Ugh.
Cool, but not that one. There we go. That's a nice one.
Hey,
It
that's
cost
good.
like 350 billion.
I think it's calling for help. Please kill me.
Oh, this is.
Oh no!
Oh
Ow.
no, Mike Testa. You guys, all these super chats. Holy crap! Let me read these for you. Mike Testa. No, I meant you forgot to drink water. Dang you, Young.
What?
Dang.
I scroll up.
Carl Jung.
I did myself.
As in, like, dang, you young.
Okay.
Dang, Daniel.
I was thinking of like Jungian philosophy, but Young as with a Y.
I think he meant with the, like, with
I don't know.
YOUNG. I think he meant, like, as in wisp. As in,
I know.
Wisp.
Mike Testa, spend more money, send more super chats to clarify what you meant. Make smart
Make sure
rich.
you, Mike Testa. Make sure you subscribe to my lewd only OnlyFans.
This is great. Give Cars the Stone of Aja. He'll save the Earth. Yeah, right. Or we
What
could,
is that? A
That might have better effects than all of this shit.
or we could launch him into space and he could try and block out the sun.
Oh my god! So wait, what JoJo did? Ah, fuck it. I give up.
Yeah, it won't work.
Yeah. When even Smud tells you to give up on the
Yeah, he can adapt, but he would block the sun. No, he's not that big.
Look, man.
It's not really big enough.
Here's Mike Test again. Don't you mean anti-Salmatism?
Salma.
What?
Salma.
Salmotism.
Salmonella? How's
Salma
that
Hayek?
climate change?
I love Salma
Ooh,
Hayek.
You mean salmon?
Salma-
Salmon. That's what Barry eats.
yeah.
Salmon's
Makes
great.
some sense.
No, don't ask him to make sense. That's not going to help. Anyway, that was...
Oh, are we boring
Sorry,
you,
keeping-
Wisp?
Sorry, we're keeping up, Wisp. Sorry.
Hey,
Jeez, fucking
if
hell.
Wisp
No,
is
it's
tired,
fine.
that's a good thing. Wisp has to go to bed, so that's good.
Yeah,
Wes,
Sorry
Let's
for
slip.
sorry for interrupting you in your non-drinking hours.
No, I read it. My sleep. You know, my sleep meds are liquid. I met that before the stream, so that's how I noticed that. Oh shit! I didn't drink anything. Fuck. Because I noticed that when I take the sleep method. Oh! I should drink some more.
I love Occupation Army. Salmon are people too. Yes.
No, they're not. Salmon, as contrary
Wow.
to popular belief, salmon lives do not matter.
Anyway, I'm gonna
You're
cut us off,
dude.
guys, because I'm gonna do a stream.
The first progenitors of anti-Semitism, because he said that fish.
Dollface! Smug has got another stream to go to. He hasn't got time for
Ow.
your potato-lacking Irish people.
Actually, I'm gonna be having a Smud talk about beer the next few minutes.
go.
If I can get people to come on.
Oh,
I'll be doing it with
Nice.
LitDev. I'll be covering some of the beers I've been posting on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have been watching my Twitter feed, but it's usually me replying to silly posts and posting beer. And me saying something like, today is a good day because I am drinking this. And that's pretty much just every other day of my life. So
Have you brewed yourself yet?
no, I do have the capability. I've seen the kits. I have lots of opportunities to do it. I have uncles who do wine, and they're more than happy to jump in if they wanted to help. But I'm more than happy to find deals at the local LCBO and buy pale ale or pale lagers for less than $2 Canadian.
That is a problem with this generation, Smud, right there. Nobody ever wants to brew their own beer, Smud.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
Yeah.
Because your
helped
generation is lazy. All Canadians are lazy.
No.
You don't want to
Actually,
make your own beer.
in Canada, it's easier to brew wine. You just can't sell it, but it's really hard to brew beer and as well as try to market it. It's
That
really
sounds
weird.
like a lot of excuses.
It's really not hard to brew your own beer. I've helped several times with it, and it's really not hard.
It is.
Yeah,
but
Canadian. What's your excuse?
yeah, but it depends on the. Canada's a bit more up than Germany.
I can
A lot
show
of
you.
Canadians
It's
are
a bit of
lazy.
an investment in starting equipment, yes, but the actual process is very simple.
It's
Right,
a
so
bit more up.
if
than
you're talking
Germany,
about-
though. That's what's a major problem.
If you're talking about complexity, yes, you could brew beer very simply. And there's a very simple recipe, your mash bill if you have one, whatever you want to do. But in terms of the styles of beers that I would want to brew myself, they're actually really complicated. And beer as a whole is way more complicated than wine or whiskey.
Beer's not a whole; it's a drink.
Well, with everything you start simple and then you gain skill.
Oh, for sure. I'm not saying it's this impossible task. I'm just saying the stuff that like I have done some research on how beer is made. And I have a cool little chart if you want to see it, how you go through the milling process and the filtering and the distillation and all the other steps. That is what I would want to do. I just don't want to make beer for the sake of making beer. I want to make a specific kind.
You want to do the go right for the nice.
Yeah, and you're talking, obviously you're German, so you would know a lot about the beer culture and the history. And yes, there are certainly all kinds of great and simple beers.
Oh yeah, the northern Germany is really shit on beer because all you get here is Pilsner.
Really?
Fucking sucks.
Just Pilsner?
Just fucking piss water.
For an Irish person,
Germany-
I don't really like alcohol that much.
If you want to get good beer in Germany, you need to go at least to Thuringia. Franken does good beer, and well, Bavaria in general.
I do
but northern Germany, just forget it.
I do have
need to
some
import.
Also,
some
I
native
wouldn't
German
say- I
friends.
wouldn't say
and
Germany's very good at history because they started 2 wars. They never learned from it.
I mean,
No,
made a
no.
lot
The
of
second
material,
one, we
though.
started the second one. The first one's just blamed.
The first one,
The
they did
first-
nothing wrong. Let's be real here. They
So
did.
who killed
Anyway,
Franz Ferdinand?
some guy
Hitler.
in ostrich.
some
That was it.
guy in Czechoslovakia.
That's as
Serbian
far- that's
communists,
as far as I
after a
got.
bunch of other dumb Serbian communists failed, and Franz Ferdinand even had to drive around the fucking corner, right into the guy's gun while he was sitting at a cafe because he failed
Eating a
before.
sandwich. Eating a sandwich because he was on his lunch break.
Yeah,
The funny thing
Well,
about Franz
That'll
Ferdinand
teach him.
is he was an avid hunter, and he would, if you ever go see his it's basically a palace in Czech.
He'd hunt Serbia.
He had, they said something like 40,000 mounted animals he killed, which means he must have hunted for at least 30 to 40 years, like once a day.
Wow.
well, everyone needs a hobby.
It was
Bloody hell,
obsessive.
I have trouble just going through my fucking washing my socks, and this bloke's out there hunting all the time. Oh god.
Yeah, well,
Maybe if you millennials
excessive
had a little
hunting
bit of
hobby is
fucking
probably
drive,
better
Hawk.
than the world war that resulted from his death
I'm
at the
a
hands of
year
a
younger than
communist.
you, Zach.
What?
Wait
I'm
a
also
second. Here's
year
Mike
younger
Testa.
than you.
Here's a joke. Tell me the joke, Zach. I want to hear it. What are we talking about, Zach? What joke?
The JoJo joke, Joe,
Oh, no.
JoJo joke, but
The Joe joke.
Oh no.
I can't
JoJo.
continue. But,
The Joe joke.
Zach gave
What?
up telling.
I don't think Zach knows what you're
The
talking
JoJo
about.
joke.
The JoJo joke.
Yeah.
JoJo.
Zach did the
How
JoJo
many
joke.
JoJos does it take to run away from a fight? 1.
Joseph.
How many JoJos does a JoJo take for JoJo could JoJo?
How much Joe could a JoJo brew?
Joe.
JoJo.
How many?
JoJo could JoJo. That's the song.
How many JoJo fans does it take to defend the show? All of them, because it's shit.
Got him.
Anyway,
Nailed it.
I got to get going, but thank you guys for tuning
Anyway.
in. Thank you, the panel, as always. It's a full house. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And look at that beautiful iceberg. Isn't that great? Oh,
Yeah. Wish you lots of fun with your beer.
yeah.
Dream.
Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.
As,
If you guys didn't know...
the iceberg is smiling.
Oh, really? I didn't think
I
about
think
that.
it's calling for help.
Anyway, if you guys, we have a new voting system. I don't know if the mods have fully implemented it. We might be changing the way that we vote, but this current stream was based off that vote, which is a dynamic way, kind of very similar to how we do it now, but there's only one channel. Let me just check it one more time. What was it called? It was called the voting Smudcast Simple Poll, and everyone voted there. So we're going to change it up to make sure it's easier to understand and when it comes out. But that's our technique. If you guys like it, please tell me otherwise. Message me directly. Talk in the Discord. Say you don't like the way it's currently being worked on, or you like the old way, up to you. We're trying to be as democratic as possible. So be sure to vote. And that's how we get your videos on Smudcast as soon as possible. Well, you submit your ideas, the mods vote on them, and then we submit them to the voting system, and then you vote on them. So that's how it works. A little convoluted, but it's more organized this way. Anyway, thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
I don't vote for my own punishment.
I love democracy.
And I will be seeing you guys soon in the next few minutes, provided I can get organized within the next 10. So who knows? Anyway, have a great night. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.